All right, and we are going live.
Oh no!
So,
I think it's pronounced live.
how long have you been waiting to use that one? Like, what's it?
Never. I don't know. That's never been like, oh, I got to use this joke someday.
Or else?
Like, here's something really dumb.
Hold on to it.
Oh man.
There was a game years and years ago. I think it was a
Live
piece.
a live?
Never played it, but I remember seeing ads for it, and it was called
Live a live?
Jumpman Lives. But I swore, because I didn't know that it was a sequel to a game called Jumpman, that it was just something called Jumpman Lives. It's like, how many lives does Jumpman have? I don't know. I've never played this game.
So man, what?
What? Yeah,
Like, how many?
all
Like,
went right over.
it's in the era of arcade games. Like, how many lives do you have left?
Gotcha.
Jumpman lives.
It's more. I
It's
thought
dumb.
like in my head, I hear it more as like an
it's
expose
dumb.
on Jumpman. Jumpman Lives.
The multiples.
The man, the jump, the men,
The
lives.
legend. All right.
He had a secret family in Oklahoma.
All right. Everybody good?
I think so.
Everybody hear me okay?
Oh, I should put something
good
on the
enough.
outline.
All
Probably.
right. I haven't done this in like 3 weeks, so I don't know. I never know what I'm doing. Anyway, it's Gameenthus podcast episode 371. It's also Thursday, April the 4th. Is that the order I normally say it in? It doesn't matter.
Get excited. Get pumped.
We're excited. We're back this week to talk about a bunch of stuff and eventually some games. we have some guests joining us. We have Mike J here. Welcome, sir.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for saying yes. Because there's two mics, we're going to call Assault Suit. Is that all right, Assault Suit?
Sure.
Thanks, Mike. I mean Assault Suit.
I'm sure it'll be kept up very well.
Oh, it's going to be busted in like 2 seconds.
It would be bad enough when we talk to each other and we still won't know who we're talking to, so it's fine.
Wait a minute. Are you Assault Suit or Mike J? Who are you?
Both.
That's
Both.
weird.
Yeah, I put glasses on. I'm one guy. I take them off. I'm the other.
Ooh.
And
Well,
neither wears glasses. Explain it.
I'll let Kosa explain that. Kosa's joining us again. Thank you, Kosa.
Hello.
Hello. So, for those who don't know, you want to give a brief introduction on who you are and where you stand on the most highly controversial topics that we can talk about in one podcast.
Talking about me?
Yes, no pressure. Wait,
Gosh.
go ahead, please. Sorry.
So my handle name is Lady Kosa, and I go by Kosa all the time. So, hello. I play video games in my spare time, which I don't have any. So,
Oh wow!
So you don't play video games. Gotcha.
yeah, I just play video games.
And you took time out to podcast with us. Thank you. We
I know.
appreciate that.
Trying to get back to YouTube again, and hopefully get back to maybe going to other podcasts. I have some friends that want to jump into podcasting as well, so hopefully that'll be
All
cool.
right. Is something will you be hosting or just guesting on theirs?
Most like co-hosts.
Okay, cool. That's all
Yeah.
right. Keep us posted on that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Most of the stuff is gonna be a little random because my friends are very random, so it's gonna be all over the place. It's not gonna be like a cohesive thing at all. I can picture it.
That's the best way.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just talk until our guests say, "Can we go now?" and the show ends. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right. So last week was PAX East 2019, and Kosa, was this your first PAX?
No, this is like I don't know. I lost count. I've been to a lot of packs.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh.
I wasn't sure. I don't know if it was your first East or first. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
No.
So how was your PAX?
It was great. I like it this year. This year was good.
You didn't like it last year?
No, last year was good too. But
Okay.
I just
Okay.
I
It's both
I
good.
don't know.
You liked it more this year.
I liked them more this year. Yes, for sure.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Okay. What'd you like more about it?
There was a lot more indies this year. It might be because like Twitch wasn't there, and that space was taken by a lot of indie.
It really
Uh,
was. It's beautiful.
It was really, really good. So
That's all right.
yeah, I like indies. It's good.
So I'm just looking at the outline. You have an Airbnb up here. You want to
Oh, yeah. So
tell us a story?
I've never done Airbnb, and I decided to do it for practice because this year, because it wasn't just me; it was going to be 3 other people with me.
Mhm.
That's
And
how it starts.
hotels, yeah, hotels are really expensive in Boston for some
Yeah.
reason.
And sometimes far away.
Yes, so there was a new area in Boston that they just kind of like finished in February, and the Airbnb company that was running this Airbnb specifically, they run a lot of hotels here in Miami,
Mhm.
and they didn't have any reviews, so the hotel was $100 a night.
Nice.
So I was like, okay. So I jumped on it, and it was probably the best place I've stayed. Period. Everything was, I didn't have a key or anything, so I didn't have to worry about keys. Everything was just put a code in it, get in, you get internet. There was a bunch of like bags, like gift bags. Like I didn't even have to bring towels, but I brought them anyway just in case because I didn't know.
Good to have them.
Yeah. So, and then right underneath the Airbnb was like a bar. And because I couldn't check in until 4, we just stayed at the bar for like 3 hours before checking in.
We just got completely drunk and forgot where the Airbnb was.
That would have been a sad story.
Yeah,
but
it
no.
would have been.
But see, then the bartender, if you tip him nicely, he'll drag you upstairs back to your room.
Oh
you
my
go.
god, that would be great. But it was pretty good, and I didn't know that apparently Airbnb like rates you too as a guest.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it's Uber. Just,
Mhm.
you have a
Yeah.
5
It is that
rating.
episode of Black Mirror. They rate you. And
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, I hope they said nice things. I just stayed there.
They
But-
used too much toilet tissue. I don't like it.
There was no toilet tissue ever.
Oh wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Everything was great. They just forgot toilet tissue.
And a toilet.
A
Just
working
a new
toilet.
place.
For people.
Yes.
They had a pile of bricks in these rooms.
No, but it was really good. I would probably stay there, but I noticed that once I don't know if this is how it works, but if no one has stayed there before and they don't have any ratings, then the rates are really low, and so that's why I got it so cheap because there was no ratings on it. And then as soon as someone stayed there, like a week after I booked, the price went from $100 a night to like $400 a night, and I'm like, whoa, what happened?
What area was this in? How far away from the convention center?
It was literally, it was like 0.2 miles from the convention.
Wow.
It
Oh,
was
good
the-
stuff.
yeah. So
So right in the
it's-
seaport?
yes,
Wow.
where the port, the actual port is.
Uh-huh.
So
That
instead of
sounds
going
nice.
to the city, the
Mhm.
bridge that takes you to the city, you take the other bridge on the other way.
Yep.
And it was right there. You just cross the bridge, and it was a block away. And you can also take a bus. So we had to take a bus. It was right there. Took like 5 minutes to get there.
Nice.
Now you're just showing off. There you go.
Yeah.
So we got spoiled, Kosa. We a friend of ours, BC Terps, would always get these like really nice
Palatial estates.
palatial. Because there were like 8 or 9 of us, so we'd all like
Okay,
3 or
that
4
makes sense.
bathrooms, and it's just crazy. This year, there were just 3 of us, so
It was Spartan.
we we stayed.
I haven't heard
Basically-
about this yet.
We basically stayed on Boston University's campus. Like
Yes.
as we're taking the Airbnb, I'm sorry, we're taking the Uber to get there. No, sorry, not there. My cousin Sydney dropped us off. We're going down the street, and I remember the street because
We're taking the Uber. Oh wait, no, I meant a family member.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
No, I mean, a family member is
Still tipped her and
driving
gave her
us.
5 stars.
Right, like yeah, you got to make sure.
And
Did she
everything,
have water in the car for you? No.
and everything looked familiar because when I took my oldest to CBU because she was looking at it when she's getting ready to go to school. I'm like, we're walking on the street because we did a tour. I'm like, we're on B, we're in BU. All these these townhouses and row houses all have like the the red placard because they're all official BU housing, except the one that is our Airbnb, and then the one next to that is also BU housing. It wasn't.
We
I mean,
stayed
well-
in Creepy Block.
Yeah. So Mike, no, Mike J, correct me if I'm wrong. It said it sleeps 3, right?
Sure.
Okay, and that's under the assumption that 2 people are on a full-size bed, probably spooning, because there were
Yes.
only 2 beds.
Yes.
No, we already made
Well, you bring
provisions.
your own. That's the assumption.
Well, okay, well, my cousin Ben brought an air mattress. We already made provisions for that,
Yes.
but
We made it functional.
oh yeah, it was fine. It just was nowhere near as nice as we've done in the past.
No, we got spoiled, but for what it was worth, it was fine.
Yeah, it
My
was
only
cool.
concern with the whole thing, like I had said when we were in the room, it looks like the owners don't even know how to use a set of tools. One of the tables I think they tried to assemble was they put the screws in and basically said, "Hey, look at it," and hoped it held together. So we had to do a little of engineering to tighten it back up to make the table
A
functional.
little bit.
Yeah,
They used the hammer to put the screws in.
yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure if they could tell you the difference between a hammer and a wrench. But other than that, it was very nice. They were cooperative. It was functional.
There's a difference between a hammer and a wrench.
Depends on the need.
Apparently,
I mean,
I mean, if it's a nut, you put it on there and you turn it. If you have to beat it, you just choose the
away.
wrench to slap it with.
Yes.
yeah. So it was a little, tighter quarters than we're used to, but it worked. It was
For
fine.
3 people, yeah.
Yeah, for the most egregious part was really the internet, because every
Oh.
message they had was like, "Hey, we have internet. Here's what the SSID is. Here's the password. But if there's issues, feel free to use BU guest the BU
Yeah.
guest account." And I'm thinking they probably mentioned that twice for a reason. They had DSL there. That thing barely worked. I mean, it was like,
We had to keep running coal into the modem just to
pretty
get it.
much. So I finally got my my laptop onto BU's guest Wi-Fi, and then just use the really long HDMI cable to go to the TV there, so we can look at videos and stuff. But yeah, the internet was definitely lacking. Like they had it, but unless you were just looking at Google Docs, it was pretty crappy. But
anything with images.
yeah, so anyway, enough about us. Back to back to you, Costa. Sorry about that. No, just
Yeah, so the Airbnb was actually really good, and then it was a company, so I couldn't enter the building first because you have to put a code outside, and then you get a code on the apartment number. It's like an apartment building, and I called them. They responded. They gave me the code. Just asked a couple of questions, the account, whatever, everything. And it's more like, okay, this is your code. There you go. So everything was really responsive. We had 0 issues with the apartment, and then since we were 4. We all had like our own bed, so it was great. So we
Having
went-
your own beds.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was worried. I'm like, it says that it has a sofa bed, but I don't know if it's true because it's only 2 rooms. But no, it's true. It was a sofa bed, and it had like a very nice memory foam in the sofa bed.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you there. We have to just move on, because I was on a mattress that was probably about 5.5 feet.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Wait,
Aaron had to pole vault to get into bed. And
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm about 6'2", so I was.
you
I
were
mean,
hanging off of.
yeah, just a little bit. It was.
So okay, cool. It's college. Awesome.
It was an experience, but I had good company, so that.
Are you sure there wasn't like a last section of the bed that folded out for the last like foot,
Oh, trust me, I looked.
or an
nope.
ottoman that you could have
Nope.
just rolled up to the edge of the bed?
Yeah, and then the
Foot locker.
table that we used for everything, there were 2 chairs, so we kind of just pulled the table up to the couch, just so that so we could use the other 2 chairs to sit in. It was an experience. It was yep.
Maybe next year more people will come to PAX East and we can do what you.
A nice place.
initially used.
We also
Yes.
kind of got it late too,
Late.
because I was kind of late. Was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm going, and then it is what it is. We still had a good time, so
Yes.
No worries.
And in all honesty, the area was nice. It was accessible. It was quiet.
yeah, definitely quiet.
And it wasn't too bad of a transit over to the PCs.
And there were a lot of nice restaurants and things within walking
Yeah.
distance, because we're right on the campus. So that part was cool. And we just
Yeah.
took the tea in every morning, which took like maybe 20-25 minutes to take that in. So it was cool.
Wait, you're, that's a ways
Yeah.
as
Hey.
compared to what we're usually. Yeah, that's
So
Right.
we were over by Fenway.
Yep.
yeah, that's a
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
transferred from like we either hit the green right in or transferred from
Green to the red.
the green to the red. So
Well, I mean, the rumor is that PAX East next year will be the end of February.
Yeah, leap year PAX.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna
Mm.
be 27th to the 1st.
Nice and
Why?
cold and snowy. It'll be great.
But why though? Yeah, exactly. They'd be like polar
I can't-
bears attacking us.
I can't tell you what the convention schedule is that they picked that. I'm just telling you that's when it's rumored to be. So let's assume MagFest is mid to late January.
Nah, MacFest is gonna be like January 3rd. There's no mid. It's never mid. It's like
You think?
New Year's. Go to MacFest.
Man, I wish. I hope I make it. But like, man, you just start saving now because that's gonna be some back-to-back stuff.
Yeah, it will be. Anyway, Kosa, what else you been up to? I can't hear you. Am I?
Oh, I got nothing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Kosa, you
Yeah.
muted?
There you go.
Oh, that worked.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's fine.
That was random. I didn't even do anything.
You're not like holding two cables together, are you? Like,
No, that'd be weird. So I'm just trying to catch up because like I got a new job, so it's kind of like
okay.
getting used to it and then
Congrats.
going back to gaming.
You'll get there eventually. Well, you went to PAX, so I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you
Like that
snuck
was
that.
one of the things. That was one of the things. Once I got hired in February. And one of the things I told them is like, I'm going to PAX. Like,
I have
Yeah.
this time
Okay,
off.
did you say
like-
PAX specifically? You said I need time off.
no, I said I'm going on vacation.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine. Yeah, most places when you get hired, if you can tell them like, hey, I already had this set, it's paid for. Oh,
Yeah.
Even if they agree to give you the time unpaid, if they don't want to give you the benefit time, most places are pretty cool with that. So
I like the
Yes.
CEO's
Yeah.
office, and I won't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Where are you throwing me? Okay,
So it's pretty good.
cool.
awesome.
All right. Anything else for you? We can't hear you. We can't. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. All right. Mike J.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
So yeah, I mean we talked about PAX a bit. It's pretty awesome, but right before that, I had to actually do some work. I had to attend a conference in Mexico. Oh, poor me, New England kid, had to go to Mexico in March, but it didn't take a lot of convincing. for
All
me to go to the
expenses paid.
conference. Yeah, pretty much. It was at an all-inclusive resort.
Oh, it's a resort. So,
Oh,
Yes.
that's-
I mean, just torture.
oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. How it was terrible. But yeah, I had actually been at that resort around 12 years ago, so like I knew the area. So it was nice going back to see what had changed in that direct neighborhood. I've been to Puerto Vallarta a few times, but it was cool. But in between returning from that and going up to PAX, I had about 30 hours. So it was a bit of a squeeze and just kind of running around like a crazy man trying to get everything sorted and set.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, PAX was awesome. I agree with Kosa. I liked it. It was a good year. I mean, every year is a good year, but it is getting crazy
Yeah.
full of people. Thursday was nice. Friday and Saturday were, I mean, if someone's got anxiety, I can see them having issues out on the floor and maybe losing it. But it's a lot harder to get in to see what you might want to see. If you can go in on Thursday right now when there's less people, I highly recommend it. You got a better shot of actually securing a good spot in line.
How was getting in? Because you always got in later than Ben and I every day.
Yeah,
We breezed in there. We just went
So-
to the line for like media and exhibitors. And they don't care.
showing off.
Well, no. I mean, we
mean,
did that
Ben-
every
yeah.
day.
If Ben
Yeah,
went
I know.
through, like,
Yeah, that first day, it wasn't bad. I got in really fast, and then I met up with BC Terps, and we snuck around. Yeah, because he came up like a rock star, flew in for one day.
yeah,
he
how
did. Yeah, he
How
did.
did that go?
It went really well for
Went
him.
fine
Actually,
for him. Yeah.
we he and I snuck in basically somewhere, and then while everyone was queuing for the floor, we found a secret entrance over to the side of the floor. As soon as we got in, when we could see the unwashed masses coming down the escalators, beeline straight for Samurai Showdown because that was this main game that he wanted to see, and
Yeah, it is.
we basically separated and had first shot at everything right when they were opening. So we got in right as they were opening the doors, so that was good. Friday morning was a mess. I ended up going around to the side entrance, and then Saturday morning I went in with you guys, so we got in nice and early.
Yeah, Sunday was kind of crazy because we didn't really get there till like 10:30.
Yeah.
And the lines everywhere were mad. So we just walked around till we finally went all the way around to the front. And I said, why don't we just try the media exhibitor line? So they had somebody standing there to actually check. I was the only day they had that, or maybe that
took
time.
4 days to figure it out.
So then I just showed my media badge. It was like, I said, they're with me. He's all right, you're good. So we just walked on in like,
Right,
hey,
way to do it.
yeah. So that comes in
That's
handy.
crazy. Like this year, I didn't feel like it was that bad because I basically did everything I wanted, even on
That's
Friday
good.
and Saturday. Like
That's good.
I actually got to the Nintendo booth. I was like,
Wow.
I could never do that.
Did you cut anybody, or you just?
No,
I mean, literally cut them. Like,
Yeah, she's taking out kneecaps,
Did you cut?
cutting Achilles tendons.
karate shop, everybody.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
yeah. Oh, that's good. That is very good. Cause
Yeah, I don't know if it was probably the timing because every time I would like, okay, well, I want to try this big game. It was like past 4, and I guess everybody kind of like dies down at that point. So I was able to play so many games.
that's good.
So I was like, all right, that's odd. Never happened before.
yeah, because I know a lot of people. I know people who stopped going because they felt like they were waiting for everything. You know. So,
Yeah.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
It's like Disney, wait in line.
Yes.
And then pay more to wait in other lines.
Exactly.
That's right. But yeah, overall, I mean, it was a great year. We had fun. Aaron, and thanks for good fun time. Hopefully, Ben's listening to this.
Yeah.
We'll be hearing it soon. But yeah, I had a great time. It's a shame, Tiny, Mike, you guys couldn't make it up. But
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It was a good year.
Different reasons, but
yeah. But you got Midwest Gaming coming up, so that sounds awesome and
This
good
is
adventure
true.
to report on.
I will be speaking about it upon returning.
Yes,
No, you'll speak about it in real time.
that's right.
Yeah.
I
Like-
won't be
like a
recording
real
or
fan.
broadcasting any of it. I'll just be walking around talking out loud like a crazy person.
I thought you were going to be on TikTok.
We wouldn't
That's
expect
all
any
about.
less.
See,
Did
I'd
you-
have to know.
What
I'd have to learn what that is.
What TikTok is? Okay. Yeah, it's
No, no,
another
you
social
just need-
media thing.
You just need to use it. You don't need to know what it is.
Yeah, I can.
It's like
You'll
a
be
Kesha
equipped.
song, right?
Let me borrow your phone.
Just go
for
with
5
that.
minutes, It'll be fine.
Yes, you'll be equipped walking around. And
You have an
you'll be
unlimited
reporting
data
on
plan,
that.
right? It'll be good.
What will make this conversation end?
If
An
Mike,
affirmative.
if Mike J
We-
keeps talking,
yes.
I guess I don't know.
We saw John Lovitz.
We did see John Lovitz.
There. How's that for an ender?
Wait, for real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Why was he
He's-
there?
He's the voice of this game called Little
Diablo or
Diablo.
something? Or a doll.
But it's like the doll has like a remember like the old Simon games. The doll has like a Simon thing on its stomach, and it's like a.
And just keep saying it stinks.
It just keeps It just supposedly their advertising is like it just will talk incessantly.
Wait, they just use old clips from the critic.
Yes.
They could have, yeah.
He doesn't actually record anything. He
He's
pulled
got-
he pulled a Krusty. He walked through the door. He said 3 things, and he left. And then they said, "We're ready to start recording."
He was already gone.
So they said, "All right, well, there's all these clips from all the things you've done over the years."
Now John Lovitz is there. He his dog, his handlers, you know.
And his cardboard cutout that everyone was saying, oh, look, it's John Lovitz. No, he's actually right there.
Yeah, some people are like, oh, look at this cutout. I'm like, he's 5 feet behind it. Just
Yeah.
look. Oh. But
Yeah, what game publisher was that?
Breaking Games.
Breaking Games, yes.
Yeah.
Andy Breckman apparently is making. I'm trying to look it up now.
Yeah. But it was interesting. We got there right as he was arriving, so a lot of the attention got pulled towards that. So we were able to sample every game they had there. It was fun.
Yeah, we did try everything. We tried Keep Calm,
Oh,
We Are Doomed,
there's
and
a
then
board-
And
Sparkle Kitty Nights.
Yes. Yes. board games. B-O-R-E-D. Yes, Tiny.
Yeah, we know how much you hate them. So yeah.
So yeah, that
so
was
many board games.
it was an interesting little coincidence there while we were at the booth. Other than that, I did check out an awesome documentary on one of my flights back in from Mexico I want to tell you guys about. So it's called The Bill Murray Stories. It's up on Netflix. And it's just over an hour long. And it's basically some guy trying to investigate and see the truth behind all these random Bill Murray sightings. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all.
Yeah, when he like
Urban
crashes
legend?
weddings and whatnot.
Yeah, things of that nature. So it's a whole documentary he did. And it's, like I said, it's short, worth a watch.
Does he ever like ruin someone's wedding because everybody goes crazy because it's Bill Murray? Like getting married here. It's like
Well,
it's
no
Bill Murray.
spoilers. But worth a check. Like I said, it's just over an hour long, so why not? Yeah, that's pretty much it. What I got going on. It's been a busy past 2 weeks, and now I'm settling back into life, trying to get everything functioning and remembering what it's like not traveling and actually sleeping in my own bed, and it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially a bed that's too short. It was nice to come home.
Yeah.
It was nice.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
Mike, how about you?
I'll keep it brief because I didn't go to PAX, and I honestly didn't pay much attention to any of it. But what I did...
You're so selfish. It's always about you.
I kept meaning to do this, especially every time it got brought up on a podcast or something to listen to, but I wanted to remove the clock capacitor from my original Xbox before it destroyed my classic hardware at this point.
That you have no intention of playing, but yes, continue.
Well, hey, that's kind of part of the story, so don't get ahead of me. So I did find a very nice YouTube video that went slowly and highlighted exactly what to do and made it a lot less complicated than it appeared when you take out the screws and go, wait a minute, what is all this mess? So you gotta remove the drives and stuff to get down to the motherboard. So got down to it, and the capacitor itself had not yet started to leak. So
that's good.
Awesome. Like nothing I need to clean up, no damage done. An easy little bend it back and forth 38 or 40 times, and it just falls off, and then put it all back together. Then verify that it actually works. And I found my component cables, which are the only cables I have at this point. I have no idea what happened to my original AV cables. Once I got the component, I guess I put them somewhere or let them fall into a trash can or something. I don't know. But my TCL TV does not have component input. My receiver does. Plug the cables into the receiver, turned it on, got audio, got video. I was like, okay, awesome, it works. And I'm fiddling around in the Xbox menu. Obviously, it wants me to set the clock because now there's no capacitor to hold the charge. And even if it was, it would have died a long time ago. This is the first time I'm turning it on in years. I get in, change all the settings, say yes 1080i, yes 720p, yes Dolby, yes DTS. Fire up. I put in Burnout 3 because it's like, oh, this is great. I remember that actually looking pretty good in 480p and everything anyway. And I go to start the game, and I still have audio. Now there's no video. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I do a quick little search about my receiver and discover it doesn't like anything but 480i coming in through component unless you're outputting through another component cable, which, of course, again, my TV doesn't have component. So that's not an option.
Yeah, I'm running pretty much the same setup Mike is, and I've run into this.
Yeah. So I defaulted to 480i, and it looked real muddy, just like I assumed it would. All right, I'm determined. I want to make sure that this looks good as I remember. So I haul it upstairs. Now upstairs, I've got a Sony TV that does still have component input, 1080p, but I don't have a receiver. I do have a little sound bar though that has the optical audio input on it. And that's how I get audio from the TV to the sound bar, and it works great. I take that audio cable from the Xbox, plug it into that sound bar, get the video cables up, and I'm getting no sound at all. Now, I don't know why. I turned off the Dolby Digital. I turned off the DTS. I said, just send out the stereo. It still wouldn't give me any audio at all through the optical cable to the sound bar. I'm thinking, all right, well, let me plug the red and the white up into the TV and get some audio, and it worked. But honestly, it didn't look as good as I remember, and it was kind of disappointing. And I was texting Mike J a little bit about this, knowing that we have similar setups, and ultimately at the end it was just like, well, that's what I did that day, and I'm not actually going to play anything on Xbox, so back in storage all of it goes, and now here we are. So really all in the end is I learned a couple of things, and now I'm not worried about my at least for the time being, about the Xbox motherboard being destroyed. I'm sure in another 5 or 10 years, some other capacitors will start leaking in either that or some other game console to be destroyed, and yeah, it'll be great.
It'll all just be a mess.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that HDMI cable I got for mine. I want to see what the deal was.
That I should mention that too.
One? Is that the...
Yes, yeah, the pound one. It worked nice for what it was. Going through, but I don't remember what the sound output options were.
Right. So I've checked out the reviews of all of these HDMI cables for Xbox, and every single one of them outputs stereo. None of them do digital, which is the thing that bummed me out. Now, if anybody, like, I talked to the guys at Too Many Games last year who do the HDMI cable for GameCube, the one that actually works and doesn't break your GameCube if you sneeze in its general direction. And I said, hey, listen, if you guys ever do an HDMI cable for the original Xbox, I'm interested, because theirs actually does output digital audio.
And they told you you're the only one.
Yeah. Well, they just said, well, yeah, we're always thinking, but, for now, we're kind of focused on trying to make some money back from this thing that we developed, and we're trying to sell these. You want to buy a GameCube one? And I was just like, yeah, not really. Sorry. And now I'm kind of like, well, they put out a revised version of it this year that
Mark II.
The Mark II, which I forget exactly what, but it gave you the option of also outputting like analog at the same time or something like it did something else, and it doesn't cost anymore. So
yeah, for like capture devices and stuff.
That's what it was. Yeah,
a lot of guys at PAX were selling it. I was very tempted.
Mike, I mean, we could just $250. These component cables could be yours for the game.
Nah.
No, because then he's in the same issue.
Right. That doesn't help me at all. So anyway, I also started looking into the retro tank at that point. I'm just
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the
they're
retro
all like,
tank.
yeah, we don't have any right now. You can sort of like pre-order one for when we make some more.
Yeah, he makes them by hand, so yeah.
Well, like it was quick when I ordered.
Oh, I'm sure. Like it would be fine if I really was interested, but something about it made me go. I just don't.
They're all handmade. The guy's like climbing up to the mountain every day to get the raw materials to make
yeah,
retro tank.
He picks
mining them
from
himself.
the tree.
Yes,
he plucks them
in
down.
his garage.
So anyway, that's just one little anecdote that I engaged in the last week or two. I don't know. I forget when I did that.
When we recorded.
What's that?
Since last week when we recorded?
Yeah, but I may have done this before that. I don't really remember.
Well, you told the part you didn't have any output signal as of last week. Because you told that story up to the, I got sound, but my receiver doesn't.
All right, so I literally just repeated this whole story.
I actually typed that.
Half of it.
Wow.
I was like, this story sounds very familiar.
I listened to
right.
last week's show. It did sound familiar, but you were just
okay.
so
Wow,
enthusiastic.
that's
I
pretty
wanna
bad. I haven't listened to it yet, so that would have reminded me that I said this already. So.
No, but there's more details this time.
Yeah.
This is the 1.5 director's cut of the story.
Right,
Exactly.
there was.
Versus the going rogue episode.
I don't even have a story. An entire week went by,
This
and
is
I
the
got
dual
nothing.
shock
This was-
version of the story.
No, the moral of the story is take your receiver, just light it on fire, put it in the backyard, go buy something else because it's still not going to work. But at least that way you think you did something.
Pretty much.
Was the Infinity War and Endgame of your store? Like you now.
I was gonna say in the chat here, Work Sucks said that he asked if we had ever heard of the Hudson Valley Gamer Convention.
Where's Hudson Valley?
Oh, it's New York.
Yeah, that's what I
really?
figured. He said I went last weekend and I was disappointed. It was a collegiate sports tournament / game expo. Hot trash. No vendors, no devs, no expo.
And if it was the Hudson River Valley in New York, you should
I
have just
paid real money. I was bamboozled.
It was a what did you say? It was a collegiate athletic expo.
It was a collegiate.
So was it just like boosters and like college athletes? Like I'm confused.
The fact that
I was gonna say if they want to mix it too, they could just have a bunch of people on a basketball court doing T poses.
It could
We're just cosplaying.
It could be a gym full of CRTs and Super Nintendos with Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball hooked up to them, and only Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball.
That's right.
That's the stuff nightmares are made out of.
Just by the vicinity of it, it seems like a convention thrown by people who couldn't get tickets to PAX that weekend.
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah.
That hurts.
That hurts a lot.
Yeah. All right, Mike, was that it for you?
Tiny, what have you been doing?
Oh, am I getting introduced? Because I didn't even get introduced at the beginning of the show.
I was gonna say something.
I was like, I wasn't sure.
Okay. Remember the caveat that I said I haven't done a show in weeks, and I'm always off.
I wasn't sure I was here.
So
And
I
Tiny-
apologize.
I thought I had pissed Aaron off with something I said last week. So
No, see,
Well,
Tiny
I'm
with the-
still offended that you all did a show without me. No, I'm kidding. I
Yeah.
thought it was great.
that's actually what it is. You guys went rogue. You did such a great job. And Aaron's like, well, now you can take over. So he was waiting for you to introduce yourself.
What he said.
I am in. By the way,
Hi, Tiny.
Hey,
You're here?
Who's that in the chat on
Who?
Mixer?
Who?
UADA or EUDA?
I'm pretty sure that is Cody.
Okay, I'm installing Magic the Gathering Arena right now.
Okay.
So aside from that exciting news, I really haven't done anything in the last 5 days. So that's why I left I don't know. Like it's been.
That is exciting.
We start event stuff next week for Extra Life, so this was my last weekend, or this upcoming weekend is my last weekend to not have to do stuff for a while.
Awesome.
So yeah, so like I didn't. I told Aaron before the show I was hoping my BitBoy would show up today, but it looks like it will be here tomorrow.
Now, what is a BitBoy?
A BitBoy is
Like a Game Boy, but
a $40 like essentially system on a chip in a Game Boy looking case, but it has 2 extra buttons on the front. So think of like the diamond pattern from a Super Nintendo. And it can originally it only ran like NES and Game Boy Color games. The new firmware lets it play Game Boy Advance games and some other stuff. So I'm gonna go pirate the stuff out of games. And
that's they're not
Pretty
selling
much.
them. So
yeah, like I'm not like so. I had my Surface up next to me today. I had the ROMs on one SD card, but it's the SD card in the Surface. So I wanted to transfer them to another. It was like 12.5 gigs for everything. Took about 4 hours. Like it was transferring it less than a meg between SD cards and the adapters I had.
yeah, that's what you want.
I wasn't doing anything else, so like whatever. If it's gonna take that long as it's plugged in. So aside from that, that's Endgame tickets went on sale, so
Everybody get Endgame tickets. Cole said you get Endgame tickets.
Not yet.
Or did you like try and all the systems are down?
No. So what happened was I didn't know it was gonna be such a big deal. So I normally don't get tickets until like the day of, right? So
People like this?
apparently my boyfriend tried to get tickets, and someone from his work is like, they've been sold out for a week. So
They're
I'm
still up
like,
at my theater.
okay.
And there should be more. I'm shocked. There's not enough in like a major metropolitan area. There's not enough showings.
Well, it's also like I don't know, Costa, if you look, but like you could probably still get some, but you'll be like in the first row. I don't think you want to be like this
Or
to see the
you might
movie,
be in like
you
the
know?
non.
I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't pay a movie just to like be like
No,
you
no.
can't see anything. I tried it once. That's awful. You get like pain.
I saw a Blair Witch Project like that.
Oh my
I
god.
saw Avatar
No,
like that.
it was
That
pretty
was
bad.
nauseating. Avatar was
That's
nauseating.
terrible.
Uh,
I forgot which one I saw. I think it was like The Last Jedi, like that. I wanted to just.
Oh, that was just the movie itself. That,
Yeah, pretty
Oh well,
much.
that too. Yes,
hot takes.
100%.
Hot take. I mean, as long as it's not like the movie theater described last week, where all the chairs were like Econoline.
Yeah,
office
you
chairs.
mentioned that. Like you said, how many hours are we gonna be? What?
Like, yeah, that was not comfortable, and I was like,
Oh,
this movie is 2 hours long.
yeah, we oversold this show. Here's some folding chairs. Here you go, guys.
You know what? A folding chair would have been more comfortable.
Oh my god.
Oh, BC Terps just said he remembers when The Force Awakens came out, the theaters were adding more showings like a few days before release.
I was gonna say,
I figured that's what's gonna happen. Plus, if anything, I'll just watch it during the week where everyone's working, so it's not a big deal. I just have to avoid the internet for like 4 days.
Yeah, that. But didn't you say you just started a job? How are you?
Yeah, but I get out early. So.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I hear Spider-Man might survive since he has a movie 3 months later.
That would be great if he's actually dead, and then they just make another movie without explaining anything.
That would not be great.
Uh,
That'd be the
I'd love
opposite
it.
of greatness.
I'd be like, I'm on board.
Nick Fury showed up.
All the dead people. It's just it's the afterlife. Whatever.
It's like
They're
a
all
St.
dead.
Elsewhere dream.
I mean, it could be actually there. So there is a whole comic series called like Earth X and Universe X and whatnot, where a big part of it is dead heroes in heaven. Like they originally are just reliving like their highlight moments until they're like woken up and realize they're dead, kind of stuff.
Are you going my way?
And like then they work with Captain Marvel, but it's original Captain Marvel, but in the body of a child with Captain America's shield and cloak.
Basically, they can do anything they want, and
It's
there's a
super-
reason to explain anything you could imagine.
Black Panther has become a literal panther, like a Panther Man. But he's also
like Cobra Commander.
kind of,
becoming a
but
snake.
he's also protecting the cosmic cube. But because of his relative distance to the cube is actually still making his wishes come true. He just doesn't know it. That was a real weird series.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Sounds a little.
So
We all agree. Yes.
yeah.
Do you agree, Kosa?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No idea what's happening there.
I agree. That's a good reason I dropped out of comic books a while ago.
Yo, I mean,
that too. Yeah.
this is a big month for comic book movies, though. Hellboy, Shazam.
Wait, Hellboy's out this month?
I think Hellboy's out tomorrow.
Are they going to advertise it?
There's not a single ad.
I think it's the 5th. It's either the 5th or the 12th.
It must be the 12th because I'm going to see Shazam.
I thought Shazam
tomorrow.
was the 12th. Or,
Shazam
Oh,
is tomorrow.
Shazam is
Same as this weekend. Yeah.
oh, okay. I'm flipping them then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hellboy doesn't look. I don't know. His mouth looks so weird. I don't know if I can watch this movie.
Filmed that movie yet?
It's also weird that just because, like, I don't know, the Ron Perlman one was so kind of iconic,
Yeah,
and
and his
doesn't
mouth didn't look weird.
or sound like Ron Perlman. So you're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
excited
might
for Shazam though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gotten to see the preview one that they showed, but I was the day I got back from Florida, so I was like,
Yeah, I got a friend that saw the preview, and she was like, "It's honestly really fun to watch." Like, and I'm like, from a DC movie? like it's just shocking to me.
I mean,
well, so talking about DC, and Aaron, you weren't here last week.
well, I heard your crap about. Well, you know, I lean towards BC Terps. So I knew
I'm
that.
just-
See.
So I've thought about it more. It's
These
just-
co-hosts ain't loyal. That's all I got. see?
Aquaman is just really crowded. Like there are so many stories
Okay,
inside Aquaman.
Okay, but it's still a fun movie. I didn't
But
say it was
like-
Shakespeare. It was fun.
I'm-
Yeah, I
and
agree.
that's fine. It just felt overloaded. That's all. So
Overloaded.
I
So
like
if it-
overloaded.
So if it was him in a lighthouse for 2 hours, it was just
Oh,
what I
God.
wanted.
if it had been him and his origin story, or him fighting Black Manta, like, or him fighting Ocean Master, like to be King Arthur,
Fighting everyone.
all of them would have been fine.
So
But
you
like,
want it to be like a one-on-one fighter.
I'd like it to be more focused instead of, hey, he's you know what? I'm gonna say the things I liked about this movie. I like that they let Mira actually talk, unlike in Justice League, where she shows up in that movie for 10 minutes and doesn't say a word.
That is true.
Like, you don't even know her name unless you watch the credits. That's a nice thing about that movie.
And that scene doesn't even make any more sense, does it?
No.
At all.
Because you're like, wait, so is he, like, I thought Atlanteans hate him, but he just can roll up to the giant, like, hey, we need to protect this thing, and apparently have no problems. Also, where are all the Atlanteans?
I like what Yuta just said. Bah, Aquaman was baller. There you go. It was a fun movie, man. Again, it was an Aquaman movie. Why do you even have expectations?
Aquaman is a better character than people. Like, I'm glad people at least realize, like, he's nigh invulnerable. He can swim to the bottom of the Marianas Trench. The man can survive a punch.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like, he's got a bunch of cool powers. It's just a question of, like, maybe we didn't need to tell all the Aquaman stories at once. That's all.
Save some for the sequel.
Exactly, because you know they're gonna make one.
Yes, they better.
Now that
it's hot. Like,
well, they didn't know they were going to, so they were like, let's put everything in here.
They're like, we don't know.
Yeah, so at that point, we still have the rights and licenses to all these characters, and we can still use them in movie. Let's just shove them all together, see what happens.
See what happens.
Hope for the best.
We'll call it the Aqua League.
I'm still yet to see it, so.
It's a gorgeous movie. I feel like the graphics were
pretty.
It really is a pretty movie.
Oh yeah, it's super pretty. Like all the different like Atlantean realms they show.
I mean,
I know.
I mean, Dolph Lundgren as a mermaid alone is worth the price of admission.
Super weird.
Yeah.
But not a good mermaid. Anyway, not a good merman.
The copy I bought still
like
hasn't been
space
released,
rockets or
so.
something.
No, he's just
Space toilets.
He's kind of
Space toilets. Nothing says underwater like space toilets.
There was a scene where he says, if he dies, he dies. I mean, that was a scene in the movie. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, they still don't explain how the Atlanteans swim so fast. It's just kind of like propulsion from their butt. So
it's a comic book movie. Okay,
it's called Burritos. Underwater burritos.
Taco Tuesday.
Like, it's not like he's kicking. Anyway, Aaron, what about you, bud?
Well, we've been talking about the previous episode. I was very pleased that you all decided to do one last week. That was great, and the fact that you did all the editing, I have to do anything but post it. That was also great. I'm here for all of this, pretty much.
Moral support.
Exactly. That was great.
Whatever random music you want thrown in there.
and random it was.
I went out and looked for like license-free music originally, and then I'm like,
I should probably do that, but I don't.
I'm just gonna go to.
I'm surprised Tiny just didn't fill it with Boys to Men, just enough to get around.
Boys to Men and Drew Hill.
Yes.
Okay. My musical taste stopped at 8th grade. I know this. Everyone else about me that knows me knows this. Yeah. We can add some Casey and JoJo, some Case.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Joe. That's different from JoJo.
That's different from JoJo.
Don't forget Triple Joe, the other side project.
JoJo.
I mean, we could just put done like All for One. We could just done like boy bands from.
Yeah.
So Jodeci in there.
Well, you guys start with New Edition and so yeah.
No, I went to the license-free music to find the first one. I'm like, I'm just gonna go OC remix for the rest of this. So.
No, I mean, no, it was a funny show. A lot of toilet talk. It was the toilet discussions were just. I learned so much about the fact that like what they used to test the toilets. They call them sausages, Mike. Is that what you call
I said it, and then I was like, I should have actually looked up. They had a term, but they looked
that's
like
what I thought it was.
With the casing and everything. And then they drop it in the water, and it's just like, man, that looks scary real. What are you doing?
Yeah, during that whole episode, I remember going to a plumbing convention/trade show with a friend of mine once. And I don't remember the brand, but some toilet manufacturer was advertising the Tower of Power that could flush anything. And they were taking like nuts and bolts and screws and letting people watch as everything gets sucked in. And that's all I thought of during that episode.
They're like, ma'am, would you like to push your son into the toilet to put
yes, I would.
Like I said, the giant head of cabbage
You can
See if this
flush
takes it down.
a Genesis, a Sega CD, and a 32X all at the same time.
Oh, it'll be just like that ad for the 3DO where they drop the PlayStation and the Saturn off of the building.
See, I don't know if any of you guys were like PC card or like graphics cards back when Voodoo was around.
I remember Voodoo. I had a Voodoo in college.
Voodoo had like a Voodoo 3 ad where it was like, we supercharged a toilet. And I think there was just like a skeleton on the next page sitting on said toilet. So
I don't even know what that means. What does it have to do with the graphics?
This is what we supercharged the toilet. Imagine what we could do for your game.
You better be dead or in jail. And if
we literally suck the soul off of your skeleton, which remains on the pot
as evidence.
And there you go. No need for paper.
They just realized that like they were giving Bethesda the idea because they leave all those skeletons around Fallout. But I'm almost certain there's something like
they're all people that died by the Voodoo toilet.
Yeah, it's either Voodoo 3 or Voodoo 5. So, just, okay, real quick, side tangent, of course. Voodoo 5s were such energy hogs, you had to plug your graphics card in separately to an external wall outlet.
That just seems
horrible.
From
You to drill a hole in the side of your case.
Oh no, it's like plugged in on the back of the panel, but I remember Voodoo 5 graphics cards had a separate like wall wart that you had to plug in.
They came with a hamster wheel and a hamster, and you had to feed the thing and make it want to exercise.
You could only play at night.
You had to put all the lotions in all the baskets in order to make it run.
Anyway, Aaron.
Yeah, this a couple more things at PAX that jumped out. There's a couple games. Well, if you go to Gameenthus.com, I would have a bunch of interviews I put up this week that I did while I was there. But there are a couple of games where I was not able to do an interview for them because they just didn't have anybody doing any of them. So Annapurna had a game out there called Sayonara Wild Hearts. Costa, did you happen to see this game?
I did see it.
I'm trying to remember. They described it as like a pop. It was like a pop music video rhythm game.
Like a pop music video. Yeah, it's
awesome. Like it's just like your character. She's flying around and then like she fights like this female biker gang. It was just very impressive. Like it was one of the best. And the thing is, people were marveling at how it looked in these big, huge screens, not realizing directly behind them were 3 switches running the game.
Yep,
like no one knew that. I tell people like, you can just walk right there and play it. Really? I'm like, yeah, like just play it. It's good. Yeah, I want that game. Hopefully, it's coming out pretty soon. Heave Ho. I do have an interview for that one up. That's little characters with just like heads and arms, and you use the left analog with their arms. Triggers make their arms open and close, and you want to just like use momentum and swing together to get from point A to point B. So much fun. It's just I interviewed one of the developers, and then I sat down to play. It was a big crowd. It was in Devolver's booth. They had like this big like 8-foot by 10-foot display made of other displays, huge. And one of the guys fell, and the 3 of us made it to the end. So we kind of stuck our hands out, reaching to the left, and he swung, caught one of our hands, and we swung him into the goal. It was awesome. So it was a lot of fun. It was a really good couch co-op game.
Meant someone like literally fell in the booth.
Nope, in the game.
Right.
Very confused.
He would have died.
No, it's like, wait, you watched this man fall, and you were like, what a.
Yes, they started selling alcohol packs again.
Yes, they did. What else? Streets of Rage 4 is really fun. So Ben and I went to go check that out.
Streets of Rage?
Streets of Rage 4, yeah. Check that out. And I checked out...
That's a little before my time, Aaron. Sorry.
I'm going to get to that. That's on the outline.
Right.
I'm going to get to that. My Friend Pedro was really awesome. And now I understand like how you do a lot of like the... when they show the trailer, like you're shooting 2 guns in directions, you really lock on with one. And then you control the other arm, and then you just slow down time and do spins and backflips while you're just lighting up an entire room like full of bullets.
Yeah, I went and took a look at that after you had mentioned it, and it's
pretty awesome.
It looked pretty cool. Like the style, kind of like a Shadow Complex.
Yeah.
added like
It's not a Metroidvania though, but yeah.
no,
But-
no, not a Metroidvania, but if you added like a Platinum Games kind of Bayonetta to the Shadow Complex, like visual style, just with the flair of the movement
Yeah.
and everything like that.
No, I know what you mean.
But when is that supposed to come out?
I'm not sure, cause it was at Nintendo's booth and Devolver's, but I didn't get a chance to ask anybody, unfortunately.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, there we go. Tomorrow, bam.
Yeah.
June,
Duct tape to the under your seat right now.
June
Yes.
Oh
2019.
No, it's just a banana duct tape under your seat. That's all you get.
19. Oh, for Streets of Rage, of course, I asked about like skates and other characters, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not really saying anything about that now." So, check out the interview; it's pretty interesting. I talked to Lizard Q, the guys who made the reboot of the remake of Wonder Boy. So check that out.
What about?
Oh.
Did you see Steam Quest? Because I haven't seen a video go for it.
Which one? No, it wasn't there.
What?
Because I guess they're going to Rezzed or whatever. They weren't at the show. They were at GDC.
They're going to the Epic Game Show.
Yeah, so that's Thunderful. They were, because what was it? Zoink and two developers merged and became Thunderful or something like that. So
Image and Form?
yeah, Image and Form and Zoink are now Thunderful. They kind of combined together.
I still follow them on Facebook, and I think they're still under Image and Form.
I mean, they very well may be. What else? My cousin Ben, BC Terps, and Mike J and I went to a place called Fuku to eat, and somebody had, what'd you say?
Delicious food.
Oh, it was very good food.
And a heart attack was needed after our volcano fries.
Well, I don't know what was needed, but was definitely we were risking it. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
big, huge mountain of fries with like chicken and
Terps picked this place out.
it's crazy.
Of course.
Of course he did. And so, somebody had music going in the background. It was all like 80s and 90s hip hop. So I'm loving it. So I asked the cashier, I was like, is this Souls of Mischief? He was like, that's before my time, man. And I was just like, wow. I just stopped.
Yep.
It was like, did you just say
Aaron's
that
jaw,
to me?
Aaron's jaw hit the floor.
And you were like, oh yeah,
He filled-
2019.
They filled it with fries and said, "Don't worry, old man. We got senior discount for you."
I think that's the first time somebody has said that to me. I was just hit me like, what did you just say to me? Like, wow. Oh, but it's that's
Call you old.
pretty much.
Oh yeah, in a nice way.
In a
Yeah.
nice
No, he
way.
wasn't being rude. It was cool. It was whatever. I was just like, wow, I just kind of taken aback, like me.
And then he pushed you to the floor.
Exactly. Where's your cane so I can beat you with it? Wait, what?
Oh my god.
Oh, we
That's
all
not
lost
real.
it in the restaurant because everyone heard it.
The whole place just stopped. No, I'm kidding.
There was a record scratch.
Yeah,
and
one of those
silence.
real
Yeah.
quiet moments where like why did everything
Yeah.
go quiet?
So
Yeah, and then the Nas that followed afterwards, nobody understood either. And the worst part is, Aaron's like the third youngest out of the group that was with us, but it was still fun to make fun of him. for
Oh,
being
of course. They made fun of me the rest of the trip because of that.
Yep.
You know what time it is? It's before my time, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, come
That,
on, really?
that was the catchphrase for everything. Hey, these bagels any good? I don't know. It was
Before
before
my time.
Wow.
So that was a running thing. I'll get the rest quick. The Twilight Zone, the Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone reboot kind of thing is out. I think the first 2 episodes are up on CBS All Access. I watched the first one, and the second one is like the third remake of was it Terror at 10,000 Feet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gremlin or-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started watching the first one. I put it down for a bit. It looked cool, but I figured I'll save it for
It's
if my girlfriend can watch it. The comedian
the
one.
first one's up on.
YouTube.
It's on YouTube. I was surprised.
They
Yeah.
put the first one up as like a first taste is free kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I liked it. I know they're all going to be an hour. I just felt like for the first one, they probably could have gotten away with it in like 40 minutes. It need to be an hour, but it was impactful. It was. I did enjoy it. It just
I want to know, can they dig up Burgess Meredith for the
to be the penguin.
his episode?
But they can't put his skeleton on the floor.
Yeah. No, he was in the episode. I don't remember the title of it, but
The one where he breaks his glasses.
glasses, yeah.
Oh,
That was
okay.
Burgess Meredith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was him.
It's a
Yeah.
super class, like of all the
Oh, yeah.
all-time.
And I know
classic
that one. I know
Twilight
that was
Zone.
him.
That's
Is
that's
Cesar
a good
Romero
one.
also in Twilight Zone?
That I don't know.
Okay.
But see, I remember Burgess Meredith as both the Penguin and then Globulist.
classic
sad.
role.
Yes, again, before my time, and that's maybe one of his last roles, which is really sad.
You're like, I don't remember
Wells.
Rocky, but that tale that he weaved.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Did
Uh,
everybody watch the Joker trailer?
Yes.
I watched it.
I mean, it kind of looked good, didn't it?
I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I'm not interested.
Maybe.
Of course, I don't know.
As a standalone movie, not anything related to
Yes.
Yeah.
any of it. It's
Which,
kind of like
that's what
it's
they're
kind of
doing
what
now.
Sony was doing with the Venom.
I don't need
Like-
Joker to be like a relatable like.
Yeah. They, you know,
Like,
they,
like when
I-
he takes that board to the face, I feel bad, and I never want to feel
Feel
bad
bad
for the
about-
Joker.
yeah.
And after Walk the Line, that's all I see Joaquin Phoenix as is Johnny Cash. You know, whatever, 15 years later.
That's a very different movie.
I
Yeah,
see him as that kid from Parenthood, but sure,
Yeah.
let's go with that.
Like, does the Joker do heroin on the floor at some point?
Uh,
I mean,
That
that,
might.
that actually might happen in this
Yeah.
movie.
I hope so.
yeah.
Then they're definitely there day one.
And then the last thing is, I went with Will to check out the Mario Kart VR stuff.
Who?
Oh.
Oh, the actor that's playing the part of
Yes.
Will,
Is it
or his
funny-
understudy.
That you said Will, and the first person I went to was Dark Context Buddy Will.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
that was the first Will that popped in my head. I don't know why. I was like,
The other Will.
Aaron went with
Aaron's
Will.
been talking about this Will character, and it's
You
been around
met him. What do you mean
for
character?
months now.
He's been on the show.
You met
And you're
him.
all,
I met two different Wills, both claiming to be the same guy that worked with Aaron. So it was the guy's understudy that couldn't be in there because he was sick the day before.
Yeah, that's
So-
it.
It wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I was.
well, that's
contemplating
what
this
makes
bit.
it funny, because I said who as a joke, and you're literally like, I don't
I'm like-
remember any Will.
No, I'm like, he went with Will, like Justin's best man. Like,
I could have.
I was like, okay, I guess those guys hang out too.
So the whole VR
Yeah.
Portal Live thing leaves DC, I think on the 7th. He happened to remind me.
Damn it.
So it leaves on the 7th. So
Like
Oh,
3 days from now.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Mario Kart VR is pretty cool. I mean, my first concern was that I don't want to throw up because when I played a kart
Yeah.
racer on PSVR, the
Yep.
chunks were rising, and I was like, you know what I mean?
But that's when you got to stay with it because you paid money. So don't take the helmet off. Just power through it, and as you're playing,
and let that
ask
deal
if
with the problem.
anybody can bring some sort of toilet bowl to you.
A whole toilet bowl,
Bring
not
the
a bucket,
Viper. Bring the Viper.
not a
The
bag.
Viper is
A
coming.
whole toilet bowl and a brick. Just because.
Just bring me the whole bathroom.
Exactly. Build it in front of me. Build it around me. That was,
6 rolls of toilet tissue.
that was pretty cool. They used Vives. It was neat. And then the one
Aaron,
we
is
worked in,
anything else going in that exhibit after that, or is it just fully leaving?
I think it's just gone. I think they're just
All
going
right.
to use that space
That's a shame.
because it's in the cafeteria area in Union Station. So I'm pretty sure there's put more tables and stuff there for people to eat on.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. There was one. I actually won the race, and there was a power up that the
Nice.
woman told me that was new, which was the hammer. So you could get a hammer, and then like if you're close enough, you could just melee attack people, which is kind of cool for Mario Kart because you don't really melee anybody in Mario Kart. Last I checked. So
Oh, like Road Rash.
Yeah.
like yeah, like Road Rash. I didn't think about it that way. So
See if that comes in the next Mario Kart. That'd actually be a cool item.
it could, it very well could. And yeah, that's it for me. So yeah, I left some feedback in here from Robbie1051. I'm not really sure what this means exactly. He says, following the advice on this old house episode, what size brick should I smash my toilet with?
I already responded to this with a very classic GIF. So
So what's the answer to that question? What size brick should he smash
I
his
mean, the
toilet?
gift
with?
Well,
that
it depends on the toilet.
Yeah,
Do
the
you
gif
want
I
a cinder
responded to
block?
was throwing a brick in a like working. I think it was a dryer. Yeah, it had to be a
What?
dryer because there was no water. And you just watch the dryer fall apart because the brick is spinning around.
Wow.
That's like a cinder block too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, like that guy throws it in and runs.
See, like chunks of rebar sticking out. Yeah.
He says,
So-
also, I forgot the reason to throw bricks at the toilet. I think we need to do a second episode to remind us.
Well, when Mike replaces his toilets, we can do a second episode of
No,
toilet.
I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Obviously, a standard, and I forget the actual dimensions, but there's something like 2 3/4 by like 6 by whatever. But anyway, like a
bricks?
standard terracotta brick is probably not going to displace the water much less than a cinder block, because cinder blocks are mostly hollow.
Yeah.
But how are you going to fit?
Except for the
block?
block
Well, yes,
part.
the
Very
difficult thing
careful.
is trying to get the cinder block in and still have the toilet operable.
Right. So the
Because if
standard
you just drop it right on the flatburn, it's not
Yeah.
going to
Okay.
work so well.
standard brickwork is 225 millimeters by 112.5.
No, we're in America, son.
Yes. The only bricks you need to worry about with the toilet are the ones that come out.
Yeah,
after
Tiny,
eating
speaking
Taco Bell.
American. Whatever that is.
Call me son.
Whatever that is. Oh,
I'm not going to
boy.
do those conversions. So you should.
Oh, let's talk about some games we play. Kosa, what games you been playing?
So, where to start? I
I
went
see a
back
list.
to yeah. So I went back to Final Fantasy 14.
No.
I
All
know.
right.
And I decided I wanted to do something completely different. I always tank, or I normally just tank. I like tanking in any MMO, and I decided what's the opposite of tanking? So I'm doing healing.
Okay. That would be the opposite.
Yeah, so let's see how that goes. So far, I'm having a lot of fun. The game still looks gorgeous. The new expansion comes out in July, so I'm trying to see if I can get my character all level up to be a scholar, which is the healer class that I'm gonna be running with, and see how it goes.
How many hours have you put into that game?
So far, I mean, I started when it came back from PAX, so I've only put like I want to say like 15 hours.
No, on that character, but overall.
Overall,
Yes.
Yeah, that's the scary
That's the real number,
can we not
Kosa.
talk about it?
That's the number of shame.
Can we not talk about this right now?
Never. Okay. If you don't
Yeah,
want to.
no,
I put
we'll go with 15 hours.
no, I put some hours. I don't know the number.
Okay. How many
Does the
years?
number exist? Like.
Number exists.
Okay.
It doesn't go past triple digits. Is that okay?
Of hours or days?
Purple hours,
Hours,
days,
hours.
weeks,
Okay.
Yeah.
lifetime.
Besides that, going to PAX basically gave me a key to when we go to the Gearbox panel. So I got a key for like the Handsome Jack collection. And,
Yep.
And I've never played the prequel, so I'm like, okay, cool. Like I got all these 3 games for free. It's awesome. So starting that with a couple of friends because Borderlands is always fun, and I know that they did something different at the end of the first Borderlands. So I'm kind of curious to see what that is.
So they
Oh,
gave
change
you
the
the
last
original
boss.
and 2 and the
Prequel.
Handsome Jack and the prequel. Okay, cool.
And they're all like Ultra HD, so
Yeah.
play-
Well, what time did you get in line for that panel? Because it had filled up like 2 hours before it actually happened.
so yes, I was there 2 hours before it started.
Were you playing Switch or anything while you were waiting?
Oh
or-
yeah, I was
Oh,
playing
okay.
Switch. We were talking. Like I was with a bunch of people, so we were just talking about everything, making fun of like, oh, what could it be that they're gonna announce? Like Borderlands VR, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Bye. Done
Yeah,
with this
that
VR.
yeah, that game
For the
exists.
Switch.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, it's gonna be a card game, and I'm like, I'm out of here too.
Oh, there was a Tiny Tina card game that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it though.
I was
but,
gonna say you didn't pick one up.
I did not.
Board game.
No, I had to explain what Tiny Tina was to him.
Tiny Tina is a fun character. Like
It is. It was a good expansion.
the DLC in 2 is a great part with her.
I think we're gonna
There.
start. Are we gonna start 2
Yeah, you picked that up, right? When we were up in
I
Boston.
did pick it up.
All right, yeah, Ben said something. So I'm in.
Ben picked it up too.
Yep.
BC Terps picked it up.
Again.
Everybody. Well, I meant my cousin Ben got it. Then BC.
Well,
Terps
yeah, I
got
know,
it,
but I'm saying.
Oh, again,
like
yeah.
4 other
And
copies.
what are you playing
Although
on
I did-
Xbox?
I did hear
Yes.
the PlayStation VR one is going to get the DLC eventually.
I don't think I can really play that. Like
No, if it had co-op, I would try it. But Borderlands as a solo experience is just
Borderlands in VR is a bit much.
Yeah, it's not as fun.
See, I would try it in VR.
Yeah. You would
least-
try it and then
At least
quit.
in co-op, so I could see both
Very
people
soon.
just stopping to start throwing chunks, and then back up to shoot whatever they need to.
Why are you convulsing?
Yes, in the same room.
Are you enjoying it? Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
So, Costa, please. I'm sorry. Continue with your
it's
listo
good.
listo games.
Good. Then I got into the Elder Scrolls Blades early access.
Lucky.
Uh,
Hey, I got into that too.
Yeah. So, it doesn't run as well on my Pixel 3, so I don't know what's wrong.
Really?
It's just very laggy.
Your phone isn't flagship enough, Kosa.
I was gonna say, yeah, like isn't that like that's the top of the line pixel, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why it's running so bad. Like it's really slow. And my boyfriend has it in his Galaxy S8 and it runs normal, so I don't know if it's because
That's weird.
Yeah, it might just be because it's early and they haven't optimized it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it runs. I have an 7 Plus, an iPhone 7 Plus, and it runs fine. Like I don't know. Like,
He's,
Runs
show,
fine
he's
on
showing
my
off. Don't worry about it.
Touch. No.
like when you can turn it sideways and like it changes the thing. Like I don't know. I'll throw this out here though. They sent so if you had pre-ordered it on iTunes, it auto installed to your phone, even though you weren't flagged to be in the beta yet. When they released it on the storefront. So like it showed up on my phone at 11:30 one night. I'm like,
Scared
oh,
the lot of me.
look at that.
Surprise.
And then you
You're
try
not
to log in.
getting paid,
You try to get in. You fight the first guy, and it's like log in with your Bethesda account. And then it's like, oh, wait till you're approved. Goodbye. Shut down the app.
Just kidding.
But yeah, it's like, what a letdown this. I got approved the next day. But what a letdown that was. Like, weird that you had it pushed to all these phones.
Well, at least I have a Bethesda account now, created so I could get a free copy of Morrowind that I'll never play.
Well,
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
I totally forgot about that too. Yeah.
Nope, too late.
you know, Mike, I did the same thing and realized I'm never gonna play this game. But here we
I
go.
think I own like a
Yeah,
physical
I was going to say, I'll just pull off one of my other copies here.
So,
But the other
anyway,
copy that I owned didn't include the whatever moon or the wolf
the
or
Shivering Isles or
whatever.
No, Shivering Isles was Oblivion.
yeah, what is the Morrow one?
It
It was
like
it's something like
Oh, it's
Blood
the Blood
Moon.
Moon. It's the one where
Blood
you can
Moon.
be the werewolf or the vampire. Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
actually I don't know if this version does either. Come to think
Yeah.
of it. But...
Yeah, it's a little before my time, so I'll just pass on.
Here we go.
Whoa!
All right, Costa. I see Yoshi's Crafted World
Yeah.
listed here.
Yes. So,
Yes.
yes, definitely like that game. Like, I don't know what it is. I was playing with my boyfriend, and I don't understand. So the game works really well when you're playing with someone else,
Mhm.
but when
All right, I want to talk to you about that one.
when they start writing you, you're Yoshi, and it's like, can you just get off of me? Like, I don't understand. Like, there's no button for me to like grab them and toss them out of the window. It's like, get
Yeah.
off of me. Like, I don't want to be
completely
a
agree.
horsey.
I bought it as well.
Whoa.
We've been playing with my girlfriend, and it's the same thing. Like, it's great just playing 2 players, but as soon as one person jumps on the other one, it like screws
God.
everything up.
It's,
So whoever is basically getting ridden can't do anything, and usually that was the person that was trying to solve a puzzle, and the person on top's like, "Wait, let me just throw things."
That
Yep.
sounds like a weird decision.
It is.
Is the other person playing as Mario?
No,
it's just
do
2
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
What?
It's Yoshi riding another Yoshi.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never seen
That's
a horse
perverse.
riding another
Yeah.
horse.
yeah. Well,
And then Genuine
I
starts
can-
the background.
listen,
Genuine
I
starts
can
the
give you
background.
links to those websites, Mike.
No, no. I mean
They
on a
flag
saddle.
you. Yeah.
Whoa. So, but the game is a lot of fun. It's just that one part is like, I wish there was a button just to throw you, like just get off, you know?
Yeah.
Because he was doing a puzzle and he's like, why are you not helping me? You're on top of me. Get off. Like, I can't throw eggs. I can't do anything. I can't help you.
Is that like? I mean,
But the only nice part about that is trying to like jump to reach higher things. But it happens so easily. Like you could be walking near the other person and just like do a small jump and you automatically jump on them. So if they could work on that, it might be a little better. But yeah, I agree. It's awesome. Other than that.
Yep. I like how everything, like you have to really look at the map, at the background, and see if you can go to the other side. I really like that. Like that game is just beautiful. It's just I like Joshi. Like I've always liked Joshi. It's a fun game.
do you find that when you finish a level and you're missing like one flower petal or just one thing, you just like you have to go back to get
You
it?
cry.
Yes, you do. You start doing it until you get it.
Yeah, I played that demo like 8 times. Make sure I got every single thing. I did actually get the game, but yeah.
And it's bad because it tells you exactly pretty much where it is, and you're still trying to figure out what you did wrong.
Or like if you need like some of the coins that turn red.
Yep.
There's like 3 left over. Like I think I got every coin. Where could they possibly be?
Kosa, have you tried any of the costumes with the amiibo?
Oh no, I haven't. I have so many amiibos. I haven't tried.
Try them.
Yeah,
But there's some
should.
that the game won't identify, and it just gives you a generic amiibo box.
Mm-hmm.
And it just basically a cardboard box that says amiibo on the side. And
Okay.
That's
for some
terrible.
reason, my girlfriend thought that was hilarious. And like,
That sounds
but
funny.
It works. No, it's fun because we only got a couple. We got like the Yoshi Woolly World one.
Mm-hmm.
It gives Yoshi a Yoshi costume, which makes absolutely no sense, but it's in the game. So it works for me.
You get a costume for your Joshi as a Joshi. What?
Yes. Yeah, try it. It's pretty cool, and it like kind of gives you armor.
Mm-hmm.
The costumes are extra armor, so you can take more hits.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yoshi armor.
Yoshi armor.
What is this next game you have here?
Okay, so at
You
PAX.
didn't see that at PAX? Yeah.
What?
No, Aaron, you didn't see that one at PAX?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
So this game was at PAX, and it is made by, I think it's just one guy or like 2 guys. It's an indie game. It is on Steam already, and basically is this really like 16-bit RPG element, but with a bit of Dungeons and Dragons. So every time you, for example, you want to open a gate and you need to unlock it, it will tell you how difficult it is to unlock it, and then it will show up a little 20 dice, and it will just roll it randomly, and then it will tell you whether or not you pass and you unlock the door. Everything is 16-bit, and then the battle system is a lot like Final Fantasy, the old Final Fantasy games. But so far it's really fun. It's just weird. Like I like it. It's not like super polished game, but it's just fun. There's 17 classes.
Yeah, it was
That's-
pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And the whole entire campaign is supposedly 60 hours, with the extension of depending whether or not you want to change characters, try a different class.
Of the 17 that are available.
Yep.
This was made in RPG Maker. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep. It looks a lot like it was made in RPG Maker.
Yeah.
And you said it's out, right?
Yeah, it is out on Steam. At PAX, they had like a code that it was a bit cheaper than the price that they have it on Steam. So one of my friends that we always go to PAX, he was the one that was like, hey, you should check out this game. Very, very interesting mechanics. You should check it out. And I went there and I was like, yep, I'm going to get this game. I'm going to try it out.
Do you play D&D?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I just started. So like,
Nerd.
well, okay. Well, hey. Before my time.
Before my time.
Before my time.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a very interesting game. It's kind of weird because the characters, like you see the image of the character when they're talking, and it's like super anime, and I'm like, what is happening here? Why is he waifu? What is this?
Way too much emoting. Like, just say
looked really
yes.
Yeah, just
I didn't get a
what's
chance to play it at the on the floor, but I sat there and stared at it, watching other people play, and it did look really cool.
Yeah, they integrated a lot of fun mechanics into the game. I really do like that random dice. That it's like, okay, let's roll and see if you do it or not. So far, I haven't hit like a critical hit or anything, or critical roll, or a one. God, no. I don't know what will happen if that happens. My character probably dies or something. I really don't know. So far the rolls have been really good.
And I see this next one. I actually interviewed the folks about Tunic, but I never actually played the game. Did you get a chance to play it?
My God, let me tell you about Tunic. I've never been more excited for a game until I play this game. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is the fact that you cannot understand what's happening because the language is kind of like runic, or its own little language that you just can't read it. I don't know why. That's something that I've always been interested. Like, oh, I can't read it. How do I read this? How do I figure out things? It's really cool.
You
It
should play
brings,
Fez.
yeah, it's like a different level. You get me? Of
Mhm.
how do I do this? How do I press buttons? Where's my inventory? Like, it doesn't tell you anything because everything is all runic, like runes and stuff, and you can't read that. But
No, it
plays a
looks
lot.
cool though.
Yeah, it plays a lot like Legend of Zelda, like old school Legend of Zelda.
Mhm.
But it is like different level of hard because this game is like hard. Those monsters hit really hard, and depending on the weapons that you have, it does different things. You pick them up, you start with nothing, and then you pick them up as you go. But it's a beautiful game. I can't wait for this. I just hope it comes to the Switch because I'm a pleb.
Yeah,
And
I believe it's like a exclusive to the Xbox One and PC for like a year or so. And then I'm sure
exactly.
they'll spread. It's like one person making it too.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it on
although
Game Pass?
I don't know. They haven't
I
said.
don't know.
Although the
But
woman I
it's-
interviewed, she's a producer. She was
Yeah.
saying like it was like just him working on it for years, and then he has some contract help, but it's essentially like he's doing all the programming and designing, and so
it looks beautiful. It's
does.
not like the other game that it looks like it came from RPG Maker,
no.
but the story is compelling. This is just like he just went completely like, okay, this is how I'm gonna make this game, and the music is beautiful. The gameplay is solid. I never had any glitches when I was playing it, which I was very surprised. The monsters are very smart.
Yeah,
So they
they're
don't
tough.
attack you. You have your shield up. I'm like, what is happening? Just attack me.
And I asked her, I was like, what is the character's name? Because the character is like a little fox wearing a tunic. But
Yeah.
she said, well, we're not saying that right now. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Who is Tunic? So
But it's a really cute game.
it does like a lot of it.
Hmm.
And I see that you have Tokyo Highway up here. And I've heard a lot about this game. And I saw it. I didn't buy it, but I was very interested.
I wanted to buy it, but I have a cat, so that doesn't go.
Yeah.
Tokyo Highway is kind of like you build a highway with these pieces, and it's basically you have to cross each other's highway. You play with like 4 people maximum, or more. I think it's a little bit more. And you always have to cross each other's highway, but you need to make sure you don't run out of pieces. And then if you have like a really bad like pulse, like your hand is always shaking, you're gonna basically destroy everyone's pieces fall.
Oh.
So, and you have to give them those pieces from your stack. So the whole point of the game is either finish first, like construct your highway and finish all your cars are in the highway, or like people start running out of pieces.
Because they had to
So,
give them
yeah.
away for messing up someone else's. Gotcha.
Exactly. So I was playing with my friends, and there was one friend that is like, "You okay, man? Are you having like a seizure? What's happening? Why are you? Why is your hand like this?"
It's like Jenga and civil engineering combined.
Yes, exactly.
It looked pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a cat. That's not so. No,
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I got 2 cats and a dog. I already know what's going to happen with that one.
exactly. I thought about it, and my boyfriend's like, "We have a cat," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, never mind."
Get your money back.
Yeah, like,
We have a cat.
I
Can
just
we-
played it over there. It was fun.
Yeah, there were a lot of good tabletop games there.
Yeah.
It's so many. So many.
Yeah, there's almost. I shouldn't say too many. There's so there are.
No, there's too many.
Also, didn't realize like how many. I mean, there were like at least like what 4 or 5 vendors selling just die.
No, more than that.
What?
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
I was like, I guess I never paid attention before. I was like,
yeah. Now that you've joined the dark side, you see how
that market is just crazy. Yeah. Like somebody was showing my cousin like tungsten dye. I'm like, why? How much is this?
Oh no, those are expensive.
My firstborn? Nah, I'm good. Okay.
Once those dye have the bad juju on it, you have to get rid of them.
Yeah, you have to burn them.
Like buy another set.
Can you burn tungsten legally? I don't know. Is that
no.
No, you just melt it down and add it to the next space rocket.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Donate it.
I didn't check. I see a Biomutant. I didn't get a chance to check it. I just saw it when I would come down the escalator, but never actually played it.
So that game, it looks really interesting. I like the fact that like you get different mutations depending on environments and the monsters that attack you. The demo was kind of limiting. I noticed a lot of things that you could do, but they didn't let you. Like it said, oh, press this button so you can obtain that mutation, but it didn't let me. So it has potential. Like I really enjoy the demo, but then like I couldn't do the one thing I wanted to do, which is like, let me bite this thing, get his mutation so I can mutate and see what kind of weird skill power I get. But it's a lot of like very action like. So.
Yeah. Can I just jump in on that one? Because
yeah, go ahead.
Your cousin and I, we both played this, and it was really fun. But you're right, the demo was really limiting. But the people around at the booth weren't really there to answer questions.
No.
That like, always helps.
Yeah, like, is there any sort of progression, like growth? Like what, what's going on? But
stop talking to me.
Yeah,
just play the game.
Just here to look pretty.
Yeah, again, we snuck in right when it was starting, so they got busy and they were trying to deal with all the lines. But the game looked really cool. Like it had a lot of promise, but nobody explained. Like you couldn't pull up any sort of stats. Like what are these things doing? Like Kosa said, there's these mutations that the demo wasn't allowing you to have.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun with even the limited demo I had. It's definitely something I want to keep my eye on, but I want a little more explanation of what's going on with it before I really go all in. But for what I saw, I enjoyed it a lot. For what was it, 20 minutes they let us play?
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, you could blow bubbles and bounce around in them and try to steal some abilities from some of the guys depending on who it was, but it was really limited.
Yeah, it looks fun. But then, like, there's just no explanation. Like, it doesn't make a difference if I'm a female or a male.
Yeah.
Because there was that.
It was a bad booth. It was a bad booth because they just didn't give any information.
Exactly. They didn't say anything. And then every time I asked, there was a lady there. I'm like, hey, can I get more information about this game? And then the lady looked at like the 3 other guys that were like,
you can pre-order it. No, you're like, that's not what I wanted to know.
Yeah. And just smiled and like, nope, your time's almost up. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You gotta go. Okay. Jesus.
Which is a shame.
Yes.
Because it would be, I'm sure it'd definitely be a selling point for the game and trying to get people to buy it if they told you more about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And that's anything else?
Yes, so I also went to when I finally got to the Nintendo booth, I actually tried out the Stranger Things 3. I like it.
I just saw it. I didn't play it.
It was a lot of fun. It's like your typical beat them up, but then everyone gets special skills and you need that person to unlock certain things because they are only specialized in specific things, like the cop just likes punching things, for example. And then you have the guy that like just has like a I can't remember, like a crowbar, and then he's able to open doors.
Okay.
You get me? And then there's one guy that hacks. I don't know who that one is, but there's one that gets into the computers and just hacks.
Is it like Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
I wouldn't compare it to something.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I want to compare it to something because yeah, probably something like that exists already. Like maybe like Scott Pilgrim versus the World back in the day,
Okay.
but you know, Stranger Things characters, and they took away all of the spoilers from the actual booth, which was impressive. Like they took it off the game, so you won't get spoiled for the season. That comes
Oh,
out.
yeah, I wouldn't want that.
So you're just walking forward with no story, no clue.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. You don't
punching
have-
things and eating
Well,
waffles.
there is like a little like dialogue, but you don't really like. It's just like kind of looks like a random dialogue.
Everything redacted.
Yeah, basically, like everything was just like the guy even said it. There's no spoilers. Don't worry about it, you know. But if you're gonna play this game, you should watch the season first. But it was a lot of fun, and playing with different people is probably gonna be a lot more fun.
Guys.
Cool. All right. Wow. I like that. I like when guests have list o games. Makes me feel good about my list. Thank you, Kosa.
You're welcome.
Mike J.
All right. So sorry, Aaron. I still think your list of games is still going to blow everyone's away. I saw what you went and saw at PAX, but yeah, there's no competition here.
I'll shorten
mean-
it.
Yeah, good luck.
Shorten.
So yeah, we talked about Yoshi's Crafted World, but overall, it's great. It showed up at my house when I was at PAX. My girlfriend went and unpacked it and started playing it. She had a great time. When I came back, we played together. It's an awesome game. It's a known quantity. It's a Yoshi game. I'm glad they did something new instead of porting over Woolly World again for a third time. So it's good.
I would have bought it anyway because I thought Woolly World was great. But
No, Woolly World was great, but it came out twice, and it was nice seeing
That's
something
true.
else, even though it's more or less the same game.
Did the second one come out on 3DS?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, that's
the Woolly World.
Okay, yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
I'm like, it wasn't on Wii to Wii U, was it?
no, it was Wii U, 3DS, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now Switch.
But yeah, so Crafted World on Switch is cool. I mean, Poochie's in there, so if you miss him from the other games,
Yeah.
Cute.
Before he goes back to his home planet.
yeah. But
Dies on the way back to his home planet, so he can never.
Wow.
it's fun.
A
It's
little
a
bit.
well-made platformer. I don't know if it's going to get as much attention just because it is more or less sticking to the formula.
Yeah, it kind of is.
But I'm sure they're making money on these Yoshi's games somehow because they keep making them. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, Kosa really said a lot about it, so not really much more to say. Final Fantasy VII, I know, Tiny, you've got more on this one, so you can speak to this because I just played a little bit of the remake. The only things I really have to say, yes, it's nice seeing the game again. I haven't touched it in about 22 years since it came out. It is jarring seeing the nicer character textures that were cleaned up a bit versus the old pre-rendered backgrounds. But it's nice seeing these games come out again and being released for more platforms other than just the PlayStation like they were. And hopefully it's something Square will continue because they have a large library of games and I'd like to see more of, I mean, other than the Final Fantasies, but maybe some like Secret of Mana. I know they did one of the Romancing Saga games, so just kind of going through there. Same thing, Chocobo's Dungeon. Picked that up before my flight because I didn't know any better, and I figured that'd be a fun one. I was a bit mistaken, but
What did you play that on?
on the Switch.
Okay.
So it was right before my flight. It came out that day. I figured, hey, it'd be a good time killer for the flight. And it's fine. It's just a really simple dungeon crawler. For someone looking for that, go ahead. I'm really hoping the Crystal Chronicles remake comes out because I really did enjoy that game. And
I forgot they were doing that.
yeah, it should have been out in the first quarter for what they said. And then they haven't said anything about it since.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, they at least have the Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2, and then 12 still left.
Yeah, and it
Crystal
like they're staggering a whole bunch of releases, so I don't know when it's actually going to come out. But I am looking forward to it. And hopefully it'll come out. But Chocobo's Dungeon's fine for what it is. It's just a really simplified dungeon crawler. So, Operencia, what was it? Stolen Sun or something of that nature? I don't remember the subtitle. Sorry. but it's on. Yeah, I'm terrible here. I just remember the main part. So it's on Xbox. It launched on Xbox Game Pass. It is
I saw
like,
this. Okay.
yeah, old school, like first person grid based RPG. Really cool. Something that I would have had a lot of fun with. We'll say 25 years ago. It's nice having that sort of nostalgia, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I haven't played it that much, but the bit I have played, it's cool. Definitely worth checking out. And if you have Game Pass,
It's free.
you know, why not? Yeah, free to play, go for it. What are you gonna waste? You know, an
So-
hour of your time. If you realize you don't like it, you don't like it.
So yeah, I'll throw out this
Yeah.
out here. So it's The Stolen Sun is the subtitle.
Okay.
Made by Zen
Yeah,
Studios.
Zen Studios, the pinball guys. I noticed that.
Right.
Like that's the first thing I had noticed when I booted the game up, and it looks really nice. It looks like someone actually put a lot of attention into it in the early parts. But it runs on like older game rules.
Mhm.
Like you're on a grid. You can't turn like diagonally. You can either turn left, right, front, back.
Old
that's your
school
only movement
crawler.
options.
That's,
Yeah.
cardinal
So,
directions.
Pretty much. But again, you got Game Pass. Check it out. It's fun.
I didn't know it was out
Golf
already.
Yeah, it was at the Xbox booth at PAX and just came out, I guess, this week. So, but yeah, Golf Peaks, Aaron, you turned me on to this one. That's a really fun puzzler.
It really is.
It's nice in just a couple, short bursts of playing. Little bit of unwinding time. I don't know if you guys have tried it at all.
I'm not.
Anyone other than Aaron?
You're saying it's a golf themed puzzle game?
Yes, it's like I described it when I was talking with Aaron. It's kind of like Metal Gear Acid with Marble Madness and mini golf. You have cards for
Interesting.
like how many spaces your golf putt moves,
Okay.
and you have to like choose the right combination and the right order of cards and the right direction to get it from where you start your putt into the hole.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good
Good
What-
music, relaxing.
What
Yeah.
platform would that be on?
on the Switch.
On the Switch. It's also on mobile platforms, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah. It might be like an early access kind of thing on like iOS and Android.
And
That's
there's
pretty
also
slick.
a hidden puzzle in that one. If you do go into the credits and go all the way down and keep tapping on the icon, you get a bonus puzzle for the game.
So is there only like 18 puzzles to start with?
No, there's like 120, something like that.
At least
I don't remember the exact number. Yeah, there's a lot. No,
Gotcha. Well,
Uh,
cool.
but yeah, it's fun. It's a lot better than it should be. Blaster Master Zero 2. That's a lot of fun. If anyone's played the first Blaster Master Zero they put out.
I almost beat the first one. I've not started
Yeah.
the second one.
The second one's a lot harder. It expects you to know a lot of the mechanics from the first one. If you kind of look into the tutorials, they explain a bit, but it's kind of taking the expectations that you understand how some of these things work. It's cool because it's set up where you have your levels, and then you kind of go to an overworld and choose what levels you want to go to. So you can go to like smaller planets, and maybe just like do 2-3 screens and then a boss, maybe looking for a specific item to progress through the game. I only got a couple hours into it, but it's really cool, but it is hard. So prepare to die a bit. After that, I got Assassin's Creed 3 Remaster. Yeah, that's a difficult one. Downloaded that strictly because I had the season pass from Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
No one
Decided
really
to start it
liked
up.
3 though. I was surprised. I don't know.
No, see, we talked about this. I like 3 mostly because of the setting. But again, I'm from New England, so I'm familiar with like Boston and then New York and like those areas that the game took place. So part of that was the familiarity of it. Yeah, it was a long tutorial for the first 6 or 7 chapters. It's fine. It's it's the decision they went with the game. The remaster in and of itself, it does look good.
Mhm.
But the same thing like with a lot of the other Assassin's Creed remasters where you get some really weird character models, and I know they redid the characters, but it's still like there's some jarring spots where it looks like someone got hit with a baseball bat too hard, or someone's eyeballs are sticking out way too far. It's really strange, and it's glitchy. I had the game crash on me about 4 or 5 times. It sends really weird HDR flags into my display, which, like, I have to change things around just to get it to look all right. But other than that, I mean, it's functional. If you like Assassin's Creed 3, or if you've never played it, I say go ahead. If you're coming right from Odyssey or Origins, I don't know, it's a little difficult if those are the main Assassin's Creed games you've played, or that's what you've gotten used to, because now it kind of takes you back several years to the mechanics that used to be in there and how they've changed and evolved over the time, and just getting used to that again is a bit odd. On the same note, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, loving the game, still playing it. I know you had Lance on the show a couple episodes ago. Every reason he had mentioned that he didn't like it was what I enjoyed. It was a good breakaway from the general formula of the Assassin's Creed games, and a nice change of pace. Was it an Assassin's Creed game? No. Was it a fun adventure game? Yes, and that's what I enjoyed it as. So I'm still playing that. I wrapped up the last DLC they did and still waiting on it. I've got well over 160 hours in the game and still having fun.
It's a lot of hours in the game.
It is, and that's probably like, yeah, it's like, I think Breath of the Wild was the last game I put that much time into. But it's fun just organically exploring the world and seeing what's around what, like, corner, or what's in this area, and just doing little side missions for no reason other than to just do them. And I enjoyed it. What else do I have on here? Kingdom Hearts 3. So I still am yet to play this, but my girlfriend's been playing it quite a bit, and it looks like a lot of fun, and one of these days I will get around to playing it after she finishes it and lets me have fun with it. But it looks cool. I'm glad it's there. She has barely any interaction with the older games, and she's enjoying this and can follow the nonsense story just fine. Whatever's there, she's like, okay, I don't understand this, I don't care, I can go on with the story.
Yeah,
it works.
I picked up the story so far because I'm a moron, but we'll see.
Yeah, but she can follow it enough to get, go on with the game and go through, and she's really having fun with it, and it looks really cool, so it's a fun one, and she's turning into a total nerd, and I'm going to give her probably Final Fantasy VI
Nerd!
after this. Yep. Alright. So another one here, quick. Mario Clash. So that was a Virtual Boy game that came out a while ago that I had secured a copy of. I passed on it when it had originally come out because all the coverage and ads were basically, it was a 3D remake of the first Mario Brothers. Definitely not that. It's a lot more involved than that, and it was a fun little game. And whenever I feel like dragging my Virtual Boy out, it's a nice, quick, I want to play something for 5-10 minutes. Galactic Pinball fills that void as well, but Mario Clash is actually really good. And it just got me to thinking that it's a shame that all these Virtual Boy games are going to be lost. They had the perfect opportunity with the 3DS to maybe do them on the Virtual Console, and they never took that up. Hopefully, maybe with this Labo VR kit, they somehow figure out how to jam them in there, but I really doubt it. And it's sad that a lot of people aren't going to be seeing these games.
I think Nintendo just wants that thing to stay under the rug.
They do. They really do, and I don't blame them, but there are a couple good games, like the Wario Land game for it is really good.
Oh yeah, that was a good game. Yeah.
Like, Wario Land was really good. Mario Clash, as I learned, was pretty good. Tolero Boxer, Galactic Pinball, I mean, those are fine functional games. Jack Brothers.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best games on there.
What's that, Jack Brothers?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. I found that at a Nobody Beats the Wiz for $5 when it was still sealed and new, which I'm happy about. So I'm still, I got a couple games left to finish my US collection. But it's a shame that, the future generations won't know it, and nobody will ever see it on a official virtual console, short of downloading some ROMs for their Vive or Oculus Rift. And that's it for like regular games. In terms of PAX games, I know, Aaron, you're going to be talking about a whole bunch of this. But I'll go over a small list here. Unfortunately, my
As I hear the
It's a list.
yes, exactly. I'm
The
a
scroll.
file cabinet, right? So, Skellboy, that was
That
you
was-
wanna- yeah, that was cool. It was like a 2D game that they. So have you guys seen? Like they had the 2D side scrollers like Mario or Sonic, and they threw them through some AI engine to turn it into 3D. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Oh,
That's kind of the method they took for this game. Aaron, do you agree?
No, I do agree.
Like it was all flat pixels, and then they just kind of stretched it out like diorama style, and you walk around this world. It was very interesting. Definitely a cool game to look out on. Biomutant we chatted about. Tiny Metal I played a bit of, but I know that's out and it's kind of a known quantity. More or less Advance Wars style ripoff. Really fun. I broke the demo they had at PAX East, unfortunately, so I guess they
Wait,
don't want
how
to
did
talk to
you
me.
break it?
Well, I broke it, or the demo was broken, but for some reason it kept pausing after every acknowledgement.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you were just.
No, I didn't. No. Far from awesome, trust me. I'm second from the bottom. But it was a fun game, even with those little glitches on the demo. Never Dark. So this was a weird, like, RTS where the world... basically, I don't remember what the whole story was, but like an EMP or something went off, and you're trying to rebuild society. It was from one of the Polish studios, which had a huge representation at PAX. And I was talking with the guy, and we're chatting through the game. But you go through. So yeah, you're trying to rebuild everything that happens in your society, all your infrastructure, everything like that, while other groups are trying to come in and kill you. All while nobody has any power or anything of that nature. It was really cool. Definitely worth checking out. I think it's coming out this year on Steam. It's kind of the small notes I took here. Sorry. After that, Telefrag, another one from one of the Polish devs. It's a VR shooter. Aaron, you had some fun with this one?
I did, and I was very pleased that I didn't get sick because things kind of move pretty quickly, and my VR legs aren't the strongest.
Yeah.
So, but it worked though. It did work.
It worked, and it felt like in VR, it felt like the speed of like an Unreal tournament, maybe 1 or 2 notches down. But that one's in open beta right now on Steam. So if anyone wants to check that out,
What was it
go
called
ahead.
again?
Telefrag VR. And it was it looked great.
Yeah, it did work pretty well.
Yeah. So there was another one. I don't have the full name here. What was it? Paladin Knight, or do you remember that one, Aaron?
Paladin Knight.
It was the one where like 16-bit style, where you had the mech that you walked around in. It was Paladin something.
Oh, from Tribute Games, the people who make
Yes.
like Flint Hook.
Flint Hook, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this. This is the 8-bit like.
Mercenary Force and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curses and Chaos. All
I
that
remember
stuff.
Paladin. I don't remember the second part. I thought it was Knight, but it might be something else. But that was really cool.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like, so it kind of had that Blaster Master feel where you're walking around the mech trying to get, the stuff, but then you can jump out and you're the little guy, and you can pick up more items or go to areas where the mech wouldn't fit through. But it had some
Panzer Paladin?
Panzer Paladin. That's
Paladin.
it.
Yes. Yep. All right. Definitely something to look out. Like, it looked cool. And I guess last one, I'll keep this nice and short, short-ish. Another one of the Polish developers was Chernobylite. It's kind of a first-person survival horror exploration game.
Yeah, it sort of reminded me of what's that game? I can't think of it now. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it did draw a lot of similarities, but it was really cool. So it's basically at the site of the Chernobyl incident, and you're kind of going and picking up the scraps and trying to figure out how to exist when all sorts of things are. I mean, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it was fun. It was very story based. They deliberately went through and had the game all in Russian, just to kind of give it that feel. But it was definitely cool. Something to keep an eye out. And I was very happy, like I said, to see a nice representation of my fellow Polish developers at PAX. They had
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, they had a huge sign hanging out underneath, and I saw no other countries doing that. And I think part of the reason is the Polish government is dropping huge grants on all these development studios, because they've had a whole bunch of studios that have been doing like port work out there for a long time, and they've just been encouraging it. And now it's kind of, they're seeing the fruits of that come through, and now a lot of the game studios are coming out into their own.
Certainly.
So that's all I got.
All right. Assault
Mike too.
suit.
Yeah, so mine is empty for a specific reason.
I don't like games
Oh,
anymore.
boy.
I hate
No,
them.
I
I
didn't
give up
play
on
PAX. I didn't play any new stuff. Like the only thing I've played in the last week is piddling around with blackout mode on Call of Duty and
Isn't there a new
or
map?
Rocket League, whatever. But yeah, nothing really exciting. I figured I'll just sort of let my time go to those who played games, and it's
Isn't there a new map in Blackout? Isn't there?
upcoming. It's out on PlayStation, which is not the platform I
It's
played
also
on,
going free to play.
for the month.
Oh, it's just for the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a whole month.
Well, I thought it was for
It is
perpetuity.
yeah, it is a whole month. So hey, whatever. If you've never played it and you want to, well, I guess.
I sold my copy back to Best Buy. So.
And
Did you
made
ever
$40.
That was
actually play
that
it?
was a good night that we played together. And
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember now.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it in quite some time, so I was like, yeah, I could probably sell this and put it towards something else I'm not going to play. That's called planning. Thank you.
So I
And
loaded
back
up
to
the
lucky.
car,
Crash Bandicoot.
There you go.
went over to Best Buy, and I said, "I would like to take my quarter now, sir."
So,
So yeah, honestly, I'll defer to Tiny. Tiny, what have you been playing?
man, I have played some games. So Mike J mentioned I've been playing through Final Fantasy VII on the Switch. This is effectively the first time I've played through Final Fantasy VII. So,
You've played a little bit of it before, though, right?
we've talked about this before. I owned a PlayStation for 2 weeks in high school.
Right.
We played a little Final Fantasy then, and not really since then. I mean, I've tried to start it on other platforms and never gotten.
yeah, I got it on PC and like dabbled for a couple hours and ooh, something shiny, and it never came
I
out.
don't even think I went hours. If it was an hour, I'd be impressed. So, I mean, but now I'm about 10 hours in. I mean, it's fun.
So you're out of Midgar.
Yes, I have gotten to the world map.
I do remember that moment when I got out, and I was like, "Wait, I don't get it. The whole rest of the world is like green and shiny, and
Yeah,
like, what is going on here? There's like a totally different environment all of a sudden."
no longer a great turd.
Yeah, you're
Right.
not just in this mega city.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like I'm playing through it. I will admit, I opened up a guide.
You should.
Well, I wanted to. I just wanted to make sure I got some things that I know people said you need to get.
That 3 times speed boost helps.
So there are three add-ons to this. One is if you click the left stick, it does 3 times speed boost, so it plays the game at 3 times the speed until it hits a text box, and then it stops until you hit A, and whatnot continues. If you hit the right button, it just essentially unlocks your limit breaks and makes you invulnerable during battle.
somewhat
So,
invulnerable. There's still one hit kills.
can you? Yeah, okay. I haven't seen those, but otherwise, like you could just limit break every turn,
Yep.
over and over and over again. And if you hit both of the buttons, you get no random
No
encounter
encounters.
mode. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. But I feel like you have to grind in this game. So like,
Yeah, that's obviously the way it was designed.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, that last one I don't quite get, but I didn't even realize the other one until I hit it by accident. I'm like, wait, why are my limit breaks already ready? So I was like, oh. So I haven't really played with that, but I mean, it's fun so far. It's a great port. I look forward to buying Final Fantasy X and X-2 at the end of April for the 5th or 6th time.
Mhm. And then
so-
12.
I see 12. At least I can be like, I've only bought it twice. I bought it for my girlfriend at the time, the first time, so that was my excuse then. And then I bought the remake or whatever. I don't have an excuse for that one because I think I played like an hour of it. But if it's on Switch, I might pick it up. Other than that, I picked up Turok on Switch, and hey, that's a very pretty N64 game. Like, you want to fight some
It is a good
dinosaurs.
looking game.
And yeah, like not have the mist. I mean, it's the same version that came out on PC 2 years ago now, from Night Dive Studios, and it's a lot of fun. Like if you haven't played it, Turok was an important first-person shooter on consoles, so like it's a good game to go back and play. And like I mean, it's the predecessor to GoldenEye. So other than that. We already talked about Outer Scrolls Blades. I started Vampire on Xbox One. This is from, oh my god,
I can't think of their
Developers
name.
of Life is Strange. They're French.
Nod.
Don't Nod?
Don't Nod. That's it.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know if them making action games is really their cup of tea.
It's interesting.
I hope it gets better. Like so far, I've inadvertently apparently killed my sister, and I'm a vampire, and I'm trying to hunt down a guy who might also be a vampire. I guess.
A
It just
reverse
doesn't-
vampire.
Yeah. Oh, reverse vampire. They have to be indoors by 5 p.m.
Yes.
So they're all reverse vampires. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one. I it just feels rough. I'll be honest.
I played it when it first came out. Yeah, it's not the most polished experience.
And that's the thing. Aside from that, Far Cry. So Far Cry and Assassin's Creed Odyssey are both $20 at Best Buy, and I had Best Buy credit, so I picked up that in New Dawn, and I started New Dawn. It's a lot like Far Cry 5, unbelievable. But like it's cool. It's in like there are a lot of places I recognize from playing through Far Cry 5 that it's like cool. Now you see what it looks like post-apocalypse. I also got into the Twitch Sings beta, which is just karaoke on Twitch. So there's one Boyz II Men song in it. So just to answer the question that's going to come up. So and it automatically streams for you if you want. So that's up on my page. And then the last one, and Aaron, I think you've been playing this too, Mechtermination Force. Mechtermination Force.
I keep having to reread it. So it's like, Mech's Termination, yes.
So I've been playing this on Switch.
It's a boss rush game, essentially, right?
It boils down to that, yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's kind of Shadow of the Colossus, but if you had guns.
And laser beams. And frickin' laser beams.
So, but like you're knocking off panels and trying to hit the glowy part on the robot, and then maybe the robot will split in two, or its bottom half will fall off, and you still have to fight the top half that's somehow still alive. And it's dangling between two buildings, and you're just essentially this little guy, and it points. He is very small, and you're trying to get to those different points, and you have, I don't know. I think I just upgraded to my 7th heart. So it's definitely a boss rush game that can be frustrating at points as you're trying to take on these different mechs that you're fighting. Aaron, you said you're on boss 3 now.
Yeah, I fought the second boss more times than I probably should have. I would get down to like one more hit and then die because of something dumb, and start all over again. Yeah.
Hey, these things happen. So I'm a little further ahead. So, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Let me ask you a question. For the third robot, when he punches, or when it punches 3 times, how do you climb back up? Because the first punch, it just punches out and it makes his arm into a ramp. So you climb up the arm. But how do you get across?
Well, so is it the one that punch and then punch?
Yes.
I like that I did that in the camera. So not that people are going to see it. So don't think of it as like you should climb it when it's on top of each other. Think of it as more, you jump on this one and then the second one's coming out, jump on that. And by the time you're landing, the third one should be out.
That's what I was going to try, but those punches happen pretty quickly.
It's literally you just jump. And like it was, once I got past the idea of trying to climb up them, it was a lot, especially if you start from a running jump. So you start a little ways back. The problem is if he's all the way up to the edge and then he does that punch, his punch will extend all the way to in the playable area.
Yeah.
So like you have to be ready for that one. But if he's either of his other 2 sets back, you have space on the playable area to get a running start.
All right.
Yeah. But now I realize which one you meant. And yeah, we're a little bit a ways different. So I look forward to talking to you more about it. So anyway,
Yes.
What else have you been playing?
Oh, it's on me now.
Yeah.
I don't have anything prepared.
Oh, yes, sure.
I've been playing a little bit of Istanbul on the Switch, which is a tabletop game. I guess it's like one of those, I guess you would call it a worker game. Like you're in a marketplace and you want to leave your assistants in different places, and you basically, to win, you want to earn or buy 5 rubies to kind of work your way up, getting different items, make sure you have certain things in stock in order to do that. There's a woman on Twitter. Her name is Suzanne. We're gonna have her on the show pretty soon. She's a big board game fan, and she offered to kind of walk me through the Switch version. I played a couple of rounds on the flight out there, and when I got home, I get like maybe like 60% of it. There's another 40% I'm not really sure. So she was nice enough to say yes when I asked her to just kind of walk me through the game. So I'll do that pretty soon. So that's Istanbul. Play some Rico on the Switch, which it's on everything pretty much. And I think it's in reference to the Rico laws, which I meant to look up so I could have a better understanding what that is, but I did not do that. It's a first-person shooter. It's sort of loosely procedurally generated. Almost everyone in the game has a gun pointed at you, so you walk in and just shoot everybody and disarm bombs, and I don't know, it works pretty well. When you lose, like you just feel like jumping right back in and just shooting everything. You have little achievements, do 6 kills and a slide, or I don't know, it's pretty fun.
So are you saying that you think this stands for the Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organization, or RICO Act?
Yes, that is exactly.
So the thing that they use to bust up the mobs.
But that is Yep. The other game, I might have talked about this before we left, but I didn't. Undead's Building. I have a Let's Play up on the site. This is a game where there's buildings, apartment buildings, office buildings, etc., overtaken by zombies, and all you literally do is use up or down on the left analog stick to control the elevator to let survivors into the elevator to get them to a floor to safety. That is the game.
Oh wow!
Like you move the elevator up. If you see people, the thing is, if you're too late, you just see the person getting like slashed by a zombie, and then they'll like fall over. But that's the game, and they just rinse and repeat. Like they might have it so like.
I remember seeing you post about this.
Yeah, the first level might be like, okay, well, on floor 1 is like where you want to get everybody to. So you just go through floors 2 through 5, get all the survivors. You only fit 9 in at a time. So you kind of have to time it and try to move around real fast to get everybody. People died, whatever. And then like another level.
Action.
I'm sorry?
Elevator on action.
Pretty much. It's rough. Like I tweeted about it, like the developer. I I think it's made in Japan, and they're retweeting me like, I don't dog. And like, when I do Let's Plays, I don't like say this is horrible. You can glean from what I'm playing, whether or not I'm enjoying it. It's not great. So yeah, I checked out Valley on the Switch. Now Valley came out already on PC and other consoles. It's like this. You're like in this world where, like in World War II, there was an expedition to find like some magical powers, like win the war. Like you get this suit that lets you jump real fast. It seems like a walking simulator at first, but then it does open up a little bit more and becomes, I don't know, you solve little puzzles, and there wasn't like it's in first person. There was an action sequence, but it's not really like a first person shooter. But it definitely, from first glance, seems like you're just walking around a forest, but there's more story, and the game just opened up, and you're in this like mech suit that lets you jump really high, and it's really fun to just run through the level and do these like crazy like long jumps. I don't know, I found that very satisfying. So Valley seems kind of cool. Everything. It just came to Switch last, I believe. What else? Overwhelm is a pixel graphic, kind of difficult, pretty difficult action platformer. I beat the first boss or two, and then the third one was like, basically, I mean, the game is, you come into this area, you're like a knight. It's like, get these 5 crystals, and that's the game. So you want to go through one of the areas, fight the boss, get a crystal, bring it back to like the hub world. So I'm kind of stuck on this octopus boss. It's pretty tough. I don't know. It seems pretty fun. I don't know. It's on Switch, so I'm liking that one. Let's see. Baba Is You. This game is a lot of fun. It's hard to describe. It's almost like the game, every level has its own like set of rules. So like you start a level and it'll say Baba Is You. So that means the character that you were controlling is this little creature called Baba. But you'll see literally somewhere in the level, Baba Is You. And it'll say like lava is hot, or rock is push. And if you mix, you can change like the rules of the level by combining different objects with the verb, and it's pretty neat. Like one level, like normally you want to get to the flag to win the game, to beat the level. So in this one level, you have to make the rock the flag. So it says flag is win. So you push that out. You push the flag out of the way. Oh no, it says win is flag. So you push the little flag icon out the way, and then put like rock there, so that, because you can't actually access the flag, so then you change the rules of the level so that the rock is how you win. And it's devious, because like you'll first look at it like, oh, this isn't that bad, but it really, I don't think I've ever really played puzzles like this, where you literally change like a short phrase or sentence, and that completely changes how the level works. It's really neat. I can see it getting frustrating, but I think it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. So Baba Is You, it's just weird. I don't know. I'm liking it though.
Gotcha.
Played a bunch of One Finger Death Punch 2. It was on the show floor. I interviewed one of the developers for it. I should be up on the site now, but they had sent out they gave me a bunch of keys. I'll be giving those out pretty soon. So they sent me one, like actually the PAX East bill. They sent that to me like a week before PAX. So I checked that out. It is more of the same, but they added a lot of stuff. Like you can ride on a horse now. I mean, there's just tons of. They just up the ante. It's ridiculous, but it's still dope. I'm loving it. I didn't talk about it, but I did play it at PAX. Crash Team Racing. Is it Refueled?
Yeah.
So they did a tournament. There were 8 stations. Everybody's playing against each other in a race. And Mike, you were there for most of that. So the first race, I came in like 6th place. Second race, I'm in 1st place. Mind you, after the first race, I said, okay, whoever wins the second race, you get a prize. I'm in 1st place for 99.9% of this race. At the very last second, the guy actually next to me somehow gets in front of me. So, as I'm beating him senseless and taking the prize that should have been rightfully mine, I realized there had to be a better way. No, I just walked off. I was kind of like, dang, it's whatever. I didn't win, but
I mean, it sounds like you lost.
I did lose.
Okay.
But like,
I
in a
wasn't sure if I was
split-
missing something else.
No, I lost in like a split second. I'm ahead the whole race. He comes out of there were 2 or 3 times where we went back and forth, and I came out in the lead again. Very end of the race, we're like neck and neck. I don't know what happened. He ended up winning.
There were tears.
So I was
Lots of
yeah,
tears.
I was a little salty. So because I didn't know what the prize was, I just knew that I didn't win it.
Did he turn to you and like quote that famous Vin Diesel? You almost had me. You never had me. You never had your call.
No, he didn't say that. He said, "Good
That's
game,
a
man."
disappointment.
That was me. I was like, "Yeah, thanks."
No, but he did win a car.
Oh, he did get a car.
Did he win a car?
Yeah, it was a full car.
What?
I'm glad it wasn't part of a car.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
It was that early morning Thursday thing. They had the big prizes to give away right away.
So that happened.
see, you didn't want a car. You couldn't. How are you gonna put that in like overhead compartment or whatever? Like,
I would have figured it out. It would have been my pleasure to figure it out.
It's a medical device. I could check this for free.
I put a Band-Aid in it. Is that no? Okay. So what else? Played and bought Toshambo, which is a play on Rochambeau, which is like a tic-tac-toe game that also combines the rules of rock, paper, scissors. So it's pretty neat. I've been playing with the youngest. She beat me a good 5 or 6 times when we first played last night. Like, she was on a roll. And then I started winning. And then she didn't like that. So, and I picked up Trash Pandas. We played Trash Pandas after that yesterday. That's pretty neat too. So I enjoy Trash. Did you play Trash Pandas yet?
No, I got my copy right here. We're waiting. I think Saturday night we got a couple people coming over for game night.
It's not great with 2. It's playable, but I feel like it's better. Like it goes up to 4. I think having 3, makes it better. It's a little more competitive, a little more trash.
The small group we had explaining it to us, they really didn't seem like they knew what was going on.
Well, now that I've played it, they were explaining it correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were.
Seemed lost or drunk. I wasn't sure which of the two it was.
They did, it seemed like they had just kind of wrapped their heads around it. So they were,
All right.
The confidence in how they delivered it was probably a little bit.
We just learned this game. How do you guys play? Oh, here you go. Yeah.
You win by saying "I win." That's not how you win, man. What are you talking about? And I also played a game called. Were you there? Oh no, I was with my cousin Sydney. So she was also there for Toshin.
Oh, with your Uber driver, you mean?
Yes.
No, we did take Uber sometime. I'm just forgetting when we did what.
It's a tossed salad of transportation options.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yes.
That's boy.
Yeah.
Nope.
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 Like, syrup or jelly. All right. Integers. This is like, anybody play Code Names before?
Yeah.
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 So sort of like that, but like, okay, so when we first started the game, so my cousin Sid and I are playing, and then so it was the 2 of us, the guy showing the game, and this other couple. So like the first example was a card that says like fast food. So you have cards that say things. You have to say one word that you associate with that card, and then everybody has like 1 through 10, and then 3 special cards. Special cards are like +1, -1, and copy card. So he said Wendy's, and then he face down put a card down. Now I immediately thought 4 because I'm thinking of the Wendy's 4 for 4. So everybody flips their cards, and I was right. So he gets to keep his card on the table. I have to keep my card on the table. And Object gets to get rid of all your cards. Well, to get rid of your cards so you have 3. Whoever has 3 cards left wins. So it's about numbers in that there's cards with things on them. You say one word, just like a code names kind of thing. But then everybody has to like figure out what number you're associating with that word with the card. It was pretty fun. I think you played with like 10 people too. So that was good. I also won, so that made it kind of.
That was helpful.
Well, the copy card was good because the gentleman, we don't know him. He had guessed something, and his wife/girlfriend, whomever, she knows him better than I do. So I used my copy card, and she was right. So then I was right because I copied her card. So, but you only get 1. You only get 1 plus. So because my 4 was already on the table, I couldn't pick it back up. If I needed to guess 4, I'd have to use my 3 + 1 card or my 5 - 1 in order to guess the card I don't have. So, also there's a Street Fighter card game that they were showing off there. I had an appointment with those folks, and they, I guess when you're pressed, give you like 3 boxes and the map, which is really nice. The game was,
they gave you the $100 edition, the one that came
pretty much, which I was not expecting.
Thank you very much.
So I did buy the they had a Shovel Knight expansion that can slide right into that game. So a Shovel Knight, I mean, I had
so you can have Shovel Knight for free.
Exactly. So it was pretty neat. Like the guy showing me how to play. He showed me how to play so well that I actually beat him. I mean, he was taking it easy on me. It was like I know more about the game, but it's pretty slick. It's 1-on-1, obviously.
But I beat one of the founders. So.
I beat one of the developers of his own game. No. It was pretty neat. Like you're using different cars and abilities and combining things. So I don't know. And I saw that Giant Bomb had a video on it. I think
I watched Ben and Jan play that.
Yeah, it's a pretty slick game. And they were giving out like demo packs of it too. So if you just demoed it, they would give you like a kind of a standalone 2-character demo pack to
that's cool
to try out. So that was nice. I think that's pretty much it. There's other stuff that I played, obviously, but that's kind of everything that's coming to mind. Yeah, way too much. Yeah, so I would just say, if you want to see the other stuff that I got, I did a pickups video. It's on the site, and then I did a bunch of interviews. So check those out. So.
Okay.
All right, there's a bunch of stuff here.
Let's just run through it real quick.
Yeah.
So Xbox Live's price increase in the UK.
Yeah, I popped that one on there. So it's just Xbox going up in the UK, and hopefully the pricing doesn't go over to any of the other regions.
Is it going up because of the weakness in
maybe
in the pound?
That's a possible thing.
Yeah, based off of Brexit. So,
it's very possible.
And TDRP and a bunch of other.
Mm-hmm.
However, have you ever seen any other company not use one small thing to leverage other increases across the board?
Well,
I mean,
no. Like one of the complaints that's coming out about the Epic thing with Borderlands is because they don't support as many currencies as Steam does.
Yep.
You're paying essentially. Some places will be paying triple what the price regionally would be because they're actually paying in whatever the closest currency is. So, like that's not a tradition. Like that's what happens in some markets. So yes, I guess I have seen where it doesn't become a universal pay.
There's no conversion that works for everyone.
Right.
But let's just hope that this doesn't carry across, especially now that they're PlayStation Plus is only offering 2 games a month, so now Xbox thinks they can charge a little more because hey, we're still offering 360 games
and OG Xbox games.
Original Xbox,
So hopefully that's not part of their argument and it's just a conversion issue, even though the pound is still running strong a bit. So
yeah. And then rumored Metroid Prime Trilogy, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Persona.
This is the Best Buy leak, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the best, not the fake IGN Nintendo Direct that went up.
No.
Like it started off like it might be real, and then.
Yep. Everything's coming to Switch.
Well, they started featuring Fallout 76, Fallout 77, Fallout 2016 Voters Edition. It was a real dark day on April 1st. So,
yeah. April Fool's is terrible. So Metroid Prime, like I totally see that happening. Just trying to hype up Prime 4, especially with the delay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes
part
sense.
of that, like I know not a lot of people talking about it, but like Reggie retired. It was kind of quick and sudden. I'm not saying Metroid Prime was the reason, but it almost feels like he kind of took a fall and retired, kind of walked out of it. Whether Metroid Prime not being ready and them having to restart development.
I didn't associate his retirement.
That would have been Nintendo. That would have been Nintendo Japan would have been responsible there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but just something of that nature that just kind of give me something to think about. Like maybe there was something deeper down that caused him to step down.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So. No.
No, I don't.
I think he went out on top. I mean, the Switch is dumb successful. Like
it's doing good, but internally, like it wouldn't. He's I mean, he's still a young guy. It wouldn't surprise me to see him pop up somewhere else.
I mean,
whether it's related to the Metroid Prime trilogy or
he's
not.
65, like young. I mean,
yeah, he
young
might have
ish.
just wanted a change.
him and Aaron could be like, let's talk about music. So,
Because it's a little before my time.
right. So, no, it's like, yeah. If anything, that would
It's a
producer
good
that's
hold
still
on.
on that game. So,
Yeah.
like, he's still.
Mm.
So, but yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
the trilogy would be cool. Hey, I'm always up to play A Link to the Past.
Yeah, like that'd be a nice bundle with the Link's Awakening remake they're doing, considering it was a sequel.
Yeah.
And then I
And
guess
then, I mean-
Persona. Yeah, that was kind of a given.
Yeah, there's an announcement at the end of the month, the 25th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for Persona characters in Smash. So
Yeah, I'm actually excited because I really like Persona 5, and if I can take it on the go, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, probably moving that PS3 version wouldn't be that tough to put that on.
I
Exactly.
know absolutely nothing about Persona, and I'll be quite frank and say that I don't want to know.
Gotcha.
oh, you'll know. Oh, Aaron, Persona's a board game
Oh,
made by
Well,
indie developers.
Now, now
mean-
I'm interested.
It is an indie
I'm
game.
in.
Yes,
So,
the
Give me
developers
the
live in
Persona.
the shack behind my house.
Give me all the Persona.
all of it.
so Nintendo just
Non-grata.
popped in chat. So let's talk about Labo VR is going to have both support for Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
Is this like a mode or like the games themselves? Like, how do you play Odyssey in VR?
That's a
With a bucket.
With I mean, honestly, with a screen that's 720, like I don't know how. There must be a special mode because the Labo VR thing looks pretty neat in of itself. And Tiny, that camera game definitely reminds me of like a Pokemon Snap kind of thing.
and if they're not brave enough to make a new Pokemon Snap, not brave enough. I'm telling you now.
I'm not sure where bravery
come
comes
on.
into play, but
I just want to. I will
Courage.
try to go however I need to get a new Pokemon Snap made. So so I'm about to read. The VR support will be quite different between the two games. While Super Mario Odysseys will get a bite-sized bonus experience with a series of 3 mini missions in which you collect coins and musical notes. It looks
Okay.
like Breath of the Wild is getting a full-on VR support in the main game.
that
You'll
doesn't
simply
even
be
make
able to
sense.
turn on the VR goggles in the options menu and explore all of Hyrule in VR.
Yeah, that sounds
Uh,
terrible.
Pre-rendered
How-
cutscenes won't
How
work
would
in
that
VR.
even? I don't.
I mean, let's be very generous on what this is VR wise. It is like Google Cardboard kind of deal.
True.
So like it's not the same. Like I'm going to be very surprised if it takes any input from your face.
No, but if the Joy-Cons are attached to the Switch still while it's in there,
Well,
They have
right,
the
but then how are you controlling?
like, what are you doing?
How are you controlling Link at that point?
duct tape.
With your nose?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have that's my
Connect your
question. Like, I
Vita
don't know how you would control
to your
yeah.
Switch.
Mm-hmm. That's a Vita.
Your Vita gets taped to your
My
forehead.
Vita's
when you just-
upstairs. So.
That's
So we'll see about that. But if you happen to be a Twitch Prime subscriber, you can get Switch Online for up to a year for free.
Yeah.
And if
just-
Mike J kicks you out of his family group, you can
Yeah.
you can redeem the key that Tiny got you, and
For
then
Christmas.
get the extra time
And
for
then
free.
add more.
and then you can add this to it because I did that.
Yeah, I did that.
I think
too.
I'm good for sometime in 2020 now. So
Yes, and this whole promotion works nothing for family groups.
yeah, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean that's pretty cool. $20 value if you already have a Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime comes with Amazon Prime. Yeah. Anyway, so
Did you read what Super Nintendo had said about the Link, the Breath of the Wild thing?
yeah, it's the
You don't have to start a new save. It's crazy.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
I mean, if it's just turning on a different display option, yeah,
It is,
I'm not
that's what
shocked
it
you have
is.
to turn on.
I look forward to vomiting all over myself and the land of
This
Hyrule.
also means you have to buy Labo.
Yeah. Which my cats will enjoy quite a bit.
So, I mean, I was going to buy. I still need to buy the car edition.
Yeah,
Aaron and I looked for that. when
Yeah,
it was
Target,
coming out
they're
as
all
clearance.
gone, man. And I'm
Gone.
wondering, how come Target could clearance them at 20, but no one else can? Because Best Buy, they're just sitting there for the same price.
Yeah, I I guess I'm keeping an eye on Best Buy.
Yeah.
Gamers Club.
I'm out of the Gamers Club now. Anyway, whatever.
Oh.
That's funny. Gamers Club. I have Gamers Club until March of next year,
Yeah,
Yep,
no,
me
mine
too.
expired. Like,
so I'm buying everything I can and not playing it. It's called
Free
the
copies
BC
of
Terps
everything.
way.
the PC Terps way, yeah. Labo VR is out April 12th. The patch for Mario and Zelda will be out April 25th. I gotta get my Mario back. My buddy's had it for like a year now. I need to get Odyssey.
Yeah, Tyrone has had my Splatoon 2 for like a while. I might want to play that again.
And then the last thing, and I put this on here, the Sega Genesis Classic, or Mini, or whatever we're calling it, got announced. And it's super weird that for the Japanese edition, it's going to have the 6-button controller, but for the US version, it's going to have the 3-button controller.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it's the only reason I don't want to buy it. It's,
Why
I
would
don't
they
even-
do?
I don't know. I don't
Why do
even
they
care.
do stuff like this?
I don't even care if it does, like, they have no games that take advantage of it or whatever. I just want the 6
Want the
button.
controller?
It's the
Yeah.
principle. It's a better looking controller.
Well, not only that, but now you're doing 2 manufacturing lines for separate markets.
Also,
Why-
they're USB, and I can just plug them into the computer,
Yeah.
and it'd be great.
So it's
I mean,
like
I
why
have
not
3
just
of those
simplify
already,
it
but
and
that's not
offer
the
one of them?
point.
What was that, Aaron?
I said I have 3 6-button Genesis controllers for my PC already, but I mean, they're old.
I
need
don't
new
understand.
ones.
Especially because they're also doing, 2 SKUs? There's the one that comes with 2 controllers and one that comes with
In
one.
Japan, in the US, I think it's just a two controller SKU.
Oh, is it? I haven't
Yeah.
actually looked yet.
That's the last I saw.
Because, again, I didn't pre-order it because it's coming with the inferior controllers.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know.
So that's almost guaranteeing that you won't have any 6-button controller games on the US version.
It's really just, fighting games on
Correct.
Genesis. So, I guess...
Well, we'll see how hackable it is.
If I can't play, time killers,
like
It's a
Eternal
6-button
Champions,
controller.
I guess, is
Yeah.
really, like what you're thinking about. But,
Mondu's Fight Palace. Yeah,
Tongue of the
Yeah.
Fat Man.
I still...
that's right.
I don't know. I still...
Bloodsport.
That game is horrible.
It's terrible.
I had it on PC. Garbage.
Sorry.
But yeah, and that's about it for news. I mean, there's some other stuff if you want to read a kind of heartbreaking breakdown about Anthem on Kotaku.
Oh yeah.
Talk about just terrible
Crunch time.
conditions that game was made under. And really, what that studio's been going through since Mass Effect.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can read about that, or you can read about the dumb people that are review bombing Borderlands.
So,
Really?
They don't like that it's on Epic's Game Store exclusively. For
No, boo. God.
yeah.
Care.
no.
I
Also,
know
lose
Download a
sleep
new
over
one.
it.
Go to
Sorry.
that new one.
pretty much. Well, I know Tim Sweeney came out and said hey, you might not like our store because it has some Spartan features, it is light on features,
Mhm.
or that it's exclusive, but just don't lie about oh, it's because Tencent's going to steal all your information. He's like, I'm the largest shareholder in this company. Our partners don't get to dictate. No one's stealing your info from that. So
Until they are. But go ahead. Sorry.
if you're worried about someone hacking a marketplace, let me tell you about Steam.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend that any of these marketplaces are someplace you really want to put your $10,000 limit credit card in. So or whatever. So be safe. Do smart things. Use temporary cards or whatnot. But let's realize that Fortnite, Epic has had issues with security. I'm not arguing that part. They really messed up with the dual factor authentication at one point. But to pretend that oh, if it's not in Steam, it's someone stealing my info,
That's ridiculous.
that's just crybabies, and also people that don't seem to remember how bad Steam was when it launched.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Scoop says the Genesis is going to have the same games on it that they released for the Xbox and PS4 last year.
They still have not announced the games that are coming.
They announced 10 of them.
Was it? But I thought the 10 were for the Japanese one. I thought they only announced 5. For
No, I think it was. Yeah, some of them were for US.
Yeah.
It's
like-
35 copies of Flicky, different variations.
36 or bust.
Yes. Thank you for your money.
Goodbye.
I'm just
Uh,
wondering how
here's the-
hackable it will be.
Yeah, here's the announced games: Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, Comic Zones, Sonic the Hedgehog, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. So that's the first 10.
They're a pretty decent start.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be fun. And to Mike J's point, like, yo, see how hackable it is, because all the rest of them have been.
Hacked to death.
It's almost like they left it that way on purpose.
I don't think I'm not going to give Sony that much credit.
No.
I think they just didn't care. So
Pretty much.
um,
All right, why don't we wrap up and?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Kosa, shout outs, plugs, all those good things.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for having me one more time.
Oh, thank you for joining.
Damn, it's not like 2 years or 3 years. I don't remember anymore.
We don't do that anymore. We're doing better around here.
Yeah. So thank you for having me here. Really appreciate you guys reaching out. People can still reach me at Lady Kosa on Twitter, and the YouTube will be up soon. I'm just doing editing. And the my YouTube is the Lady Kosa on, because someone stole my name. How dare they?
Get them.
And if people play Final Fantasy 14, I'm in the Behemoth server, but now that they're gonna do the data migration, it'll all be just the data center. So the data center is Primal. I have a friend that does. I don't know if anyone likes video game music, but I have a friend that has a Twitch, and I want to shout him out. That his Twitch stream is Pixel Radio Music, and he has 24/7 just video game music all the time. So even if he's not in there in chat, he has his computer on and just playing video game music.
okay.
What about the environment? No, I'm kidding.
What environment?
Who speaks for the trees? Oh, sorry. I got nothing. All right.
Mike J, what about you, sir?
All right. I got nothing. So, Aaron, Tiny Mike, thank you guys again for having me on. Kosa, thank you for joining us. And it's been fun. That's all I got. I got nothing else to pimp out. We're good to go.
All right.
It's been fun.
Is the salt suit still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Mike,
It's,
too, you here?
it's the fading hour, but yeah,
Have another beer, Mike.
yeah. No, it's time to disappear into the 5.5 foot long bed.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you can do better than that, but okay.
Flush yourself down your own toilet.
How many toilets did you buy that you can only have a 5.5 foot bed?
You had to sell part of that spring.
Yeah. So if you are eligible, I encourage you to donate blood if you have any pets. I encourage you to have them spayed or neutered. And there you go. So
Yes, and I am giving blood in 2 weeks. Cheers.
excellent.
Double red, B minus.
Tiny.
Hey, it's 2019 and it's April already. Can you believe we're 4 months in? And if you haven't signed up yet, you should go to extragaslife.org and sign up to help local kids at your local Children's Miracle Network Hospital by playing games. And if you like, go to extragaslife.org/team/Gameenthus and sign up and be part of our team, or donate to your favorite Gameenthus personality. So, I happen to be working on a panels thing, and I realized we've raised over $58,000.
That's
We
really
started
something.
doing Extra Life. So back in 2011, I think, or 2012, I forget what year I said.
That's what's up.
Yeah, no, it was. It is not an insignificant number. So in 2011, yeah.
At all.
So yeah, so check that out. Otherwise, Aaron.
All right. Thank you, Kosa. Thank you, Mike J. We appreciate your time. To sit here and ramble with us about games and everything else. So always a pleasure. Thank you to the folks who were in the chat, asking questions, making comments. You make the show better. Thank you for being there. Shout out to Sharif and Cicero from Spawn on Me. I got a chance to meet both of them at PAX, which was very nice. It's always nice to put a face to a name. And Kosa, hopefully next year I'll get a chance to actually meet you. Just, when people have walked around for a while and, they're like, they're ready to go. And, I'd stay until they kick me out of the place. But,
And you have.
And I have. So, yeah. And Mike and Tiny, thank you for continuing to be wonderful and gracious co-hosts who go as far as to produce a show when I'm not even around. I appreciate that because we hadn't done a show in a while, so it was good that we had that there was
Not
a
to
show.
say we didn't try to do one up at PAX.
I kept forgetting. I remember you mentioned like doing the audio booth thing, and I kept forgetting about it. So
Aaron's like, yeah, I'll do it later.
and
And then it was Sunday. Like, yeah, never mind.
He knew his cover.
Yeah.
So.
No, we certainly could have done it. I just after I leave the show floor, I'm just like, ugh. We did no parties, no nothing. We talked about it, but nah.
All those invites.
I know. Too tired.
It's
Anyway,
before my time.
there you go. If you want to leave us feedback, you can always leave us a voicemail at 202-573-7686 or email us at tiny415@gamewiththurs.com or saltsuit@gamewiththurs.com, podcast@gamewiththurs.com, or aaron@gamewiththurs.com. I wonder if I should make a gameenthus@gamewiththurs.com just to do it. I don't know.
Yes.
I might do that. Yeah, follow us on Twitter and check out the YouTube channel, all the good stuff. And we're on Spotify now until they kick us out for not having licensed music. That's a whole other story. Yeah, I think that's it. Coast, any final words before we get out of here? I could.
Yes, support your indie developers, okay?
That exactly. It's all about the indies. All right. So next week, Lord willing, we'll be back.
Dziękujemy za wszystko.
What he said.
Yep.
You done?